watching ESPN on ABC, home of the 2010 Rose Bowl game and the City BCS National Championship game.
Welcome to Stillwater, Oklahoma. Tonight, Oklahoma State is ready for a showdown with Texas Tech, two of the best offensive units in the nation. And if recent history is an indication, it will be a wild one. 2 years ago, the teams combined for over 1,300 yards in total offense and 94 points. Oklahoma State survived in Stillwater. Last year saw the Red Raiders get revenge. Tech rolled up 629 yards and 56 points. Tonight they meet again. Texas Tech and number 19 Oklahoma State, ready for a primetime shootout in Cowboy country. Texas Tech, and a check of the standings shows the Cowboys and Red Raiders are neck and neck in their division, jostling for position behind Texas. So plenty is at stake here tonight in Stillwater. Good evening, everybody. Mike, Patrick, Craig, James. It's great to have you with us. At this point in the season, what these clubs are playing for, bowl position, because every game you win down the stretch gives you a shot at a better position.
You already hear the coaches on the field before the game. They're talking, what do you think about this bowl game or that bowl game? What do you think about the Cotton Bowl? So absolutely, Mike, bowl positioning is on their minds. It's also a matter of respect within the conference. Both of these two teams are very similar in style and talent and coaching, and they're chasing Texas and Oklahoma in the Big 12 overall. So for recruiting purposes, there's a lot on the line tonight.
Craig, there aren't many teams who can lose an All-American wide receiver and a star running back and still win 7 out of 9 games. That's what Oklahoma State's done.
Means you better have a good offensive line and a good quarterback, right? So
Amen.
Oklahoma State has that guy in Zac Robinson. He's a proven winner and a leader for this football team. His last home game, he did have 4 interceptions against the University of Texas. So I know Zac is a great young man. He wants to come back and redeem himself. Very important game for him, but he's got a solid offensive line to help him hand the ball off and make plays on the ground. Texas
Tech has used 3 quarterbacks this year. It hasn't even slowed them down, though. Still second in the nation in passing and offense. Who are we going to see tonight?
I thought you might run down there.
No thanks.
Leach will make you a good quarterback.
No.
Mike Leach makes everybody a good quarterback. Yeah. Tonight, he's going to go with Taylor Potts, we believe. I was pulling teeth while ago with Mike Leach on the field saying, Mike, who you going with? Well, I don't know. Sticks looks good over there. Sheffield, look, Mike, I need to know who you going with. I have the open coming up. He said, all right, let's go with Taylor Potts. So Taylor Potts is a proven guy. He can win. His players like him. He's got to make plays.
You have great influence. Kickoff here in Stillwater, but after the break, we'll go to New York. John Saunders and Jesse Palmer will catch you up on a busy day in college football. Batch ran for 106 yards and 3 touchdowns on only 8 carries in the 4th quarter of the win over the Jayhawks. But Oklahoma State has the nation's 9th-ranked rushing attack, led by Keith Toston, 2nd in the Big 12 in rushing. On defense, the Cowboys have an excellent set of linebackers, including Patrick Lavine. He has 4 interceptions this season. This has been the Nissan pregame shift. Kickoff from Stillwater coming right up. Welcome back to Oklahoma State. Before the kickoff, let's check in with Heather Cox.
Mike, thanks so much. Coach Gundy, you told me that despite Des Bryant's suspension, despite all the injuries, this has been the most rewarding season of your career. How come?
Well, because these players have persevered through a lot of issues, and I'm really proud of them. We've had some off-the-field issues, and we've had some injuries, but golly, they come back and practice every week, and the assistant coaches have done a great job. That's really the gratifying part of being a coach.
You guys have said all week the best defense is a good offense tonight. So how do you plan to control the ball and keep your offense on the field?
Well, we want to play with speed. We want to keep moving fast, and we want to run our system. And on defense, we want to wrap up and tackle.
Coach, thank you so much.
Right,
Mike and Craig.
All right, thank you very much, Heather Cox. Taylor Potts, the starting quarterback, getting ready on the sideline as Texas Tech has won the toss and elected to receive. And Mike Leach, 82 and 42, tied for #1 all-time in Texas Tech history with Spike Dykes He's built a reputation over the years as one of the game's top innovators on offense.
And the fact that he has 45 wins since 2000, that's the most in the Big 12, other than Texas and Oklahoma. So he's won games that mean something for his school.
One of the best kickoff guys in the business, Quinn Sharp, tees it up at the 30. 30 of his 59 kickoffs this year have gone for touchbacks. And he'll be kicking to Stevens and Zuzalek for Texas Tech. Stevens 24, Zuzalek number 6. Stevens with the best average, almost 26 yards a return this year. Two yards deep, bobbled, and they'll take a knee. Eric Stevens couldn't handle it. And Taylor Potts will lead out the offense. Return to action as the Tech quarterback in the second half last week. He was the starter for the first 6 ball games before suffering a concussion.
Well, he has his hands full tonight directing an offense that is explosive, but he's going against a Bill Young-led defense at Oklahoma State. I think Bill Young has had a tremendous impact. We'll talk about his impact on this defense throughout the night.
He came home to Oklahoma where he wanted to be. Potts in the shotgun. And Baron Batch now switches sides. And a whistle. It's not a good sign for Texas Tech when the first play results in a delay of game.
You thought they'd have figured it out before they came out of the locker room, right? Our impact players, Baron Batch is a player from behind the quarterback that can run the ball. He has to have an impact. Detron Lewis, I think he's a superstar in waiting. And then on defense, Brandon Sharp, a defensive lineman. He's outstanding, 10.5 sacks on the season.
Potts quickly throws a strike, and it's Swindall. And Swindall has a first down, gain of 18 yards. This offense, it's a great system installed by Leach. He gets the guys who fit it perfectly. Guys like Taylor Potts who can get rid of the ball in a hurry on a short drop. Batch gets his first carry and drags Sexton with him.
Yeah, when you talk about getting the most out of an offense, this particular offense this season, it hasn't been one-handed. They've really spread the ball around. They have 10 different receivers with double-digit catches on the year, unlike last year where they only had 3.
Right.
So it really is a balanced attack.
Bats out in the flat, and outstanding defense by Parrish Cox. He is a semifinalist on the watch list as the best defensive back in the country.
Yeah, the University of Houston had a lot of success running screens against Oklahoma State earlier this season, but you've got to block. Detron Lewis, their 17, wasn't able to get to Cox in time. That's how you beat the wide receiver screen.
3rd and 9. They expected the screens. They got killed by the screens when they were defeated by Houston. Potts going to air this one out, and Parrish Cox, did he catch it? He did. Intercepted at the 42. That ball sailed off target, and Parrish Cox was there to bring it in.
This will be one of those balls where Mike Leach will get in the headgear of Potts for letting it go. No receiver over there, just throws it out. And Cox is one of the playmakers of Bill Young's defense. Looks like he had it, Mike. Don't you agree?
Oh, I agree.
That's a great play by Cox. Of course, I will say this. The receiver did slip as he was out there with him, so he wasn't able to battle and fight for it.
True.
The previous play is under further review.
And they want to check to see if he had his hands or hand under the ball. And from the look we had, it appeared he did. The ball hit the ground. The rule is you have to have firm control if the ball hits the ground.
And there has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn it. And I don't see that in this situation right there with that video. I think he had control of it.
His hands are there. Yeah. He's certainly not bobbling the ball, so you can't say he didn't have control. And the initial assumption has to be by the replay officials that the call on the field was correct. It takes indisputable video evidence to overturn it.
But how about Bill Young's defense, though? You know, this is a defense that they're playing confident. They're simplified.
It was an interception. First down, Oklahoma State. The play stance is called.
Play stance is called, so Oklahoma State will start from its own 42-yard line.
In a game like this, traditionally, the last several years between these two football teams, it's almost like a tennis match. If you break serve, you've got a chance, right? There's your first service break right there.
It certainly is. Zac Robinson leads them out. And Toston will get the first carry across the 45-yard line. Robinson now owns all the significant passing records in Oklahoma State history. He went past his coach, Mike Gundy. Mike Gundy, with all the injuries this year, his leadership has also been very critical to this ball club, and flags come down to stop this play.
Prior to the snap, ball starts on the offense. Number 76, 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Now your impact players tonight. Russell Okun, the left tackle, is one heck of a football player, and he'll have a very speedy defense he's going against. Keith Toston, he's filled in really well, running the football. Number 2 in the Big 12 in rushing, and Parrish Cox. We've already seen the impact he has, now 3 for the season.
Gundy will go to the shotgun. With a screen out to Hunter. Kendall Hunter was going to be the starter, missed 2 months with a sprained ankle. Got a few snaps last week. Daniel Howard on the stop. But now they'll be able to rotate Hunter and Toston along with Bo Johnson.
Gunnar Hunter Brewer, one of the coordinators here at Oklahoma State, said that Hunter's probably about 85%. He's a heck of a player, but with Toston's ability, 185%, pretty strong against the Red Raiders tonight.
Hunter and Johnson, the backs. Pressure coming, and Robinson can't get away. Excellent hustle by Brandon Sharp and Daniel Howard, and Sharp has been on a tear. He's one of the nation's leaders with 10.5 sacks, number 92.
Yeah, you'll see him right here off the left side, and he's very fast. He's got great job with his hands of separation and his footwork and his speed, acceleration.
Got Robinson by the ankle and wouldn't let him go. Big rush on the kicker. Sharp got it out of there, and Sharp was knocked down. This is going to be a big break for Oklahoma State as Texas Tech gambled and went for the punt block. Instead, they got Quinn Sharp.
Now they're going to call it contact as opposed to roughing the punter, and obviously Mike Gundy not very happy about that on the sideline. The roughing
15 would have been a first down.
Absolutely. Automatic.
Running into the kicking team. On the receiving team, number 25. 5-yard penalty, remains fourth down.
You know, you really have to protect these kickers. And I got to tell you,
that's 15.
Isn't it? I think so. That's running into.
I mean, when you cut the leg out from under a kicker, that plant leg is where you can really be seriously injured.
And the only reason, Mike, it wasn't more flagrant was because his legs were just about on the ground. If his leg had been planted, it would have been clearly roughing the punter.
Well, Mike Gundy is really upset about the call, and from the replay, it certainly seems that he has an argument to be made.
They'll reload on this.
He still has his kicking unit gathered around him. So Sharp, who is number 7 in the country and a semifinalist for the Ray Guy Award, is on the punt again. Zuzalik is deep. Well, this thing is crushed. 58 yards. A lot of leg from Quinn Sharp. We'll start it to 20 when we come back for Texas Tech. Last time Texas Tech had the ball, Parrish Cox picked up his 3rd interception of the season, but the Cowboys couldn't take advantage of it. And after the punt, Texas Tech and Taylor Potts will start from their own 20-yard line. 4 wide receivers and Batch as the setback, and Batch will get the call, and Batch is dragging tacklers with him for about 4 yards. Jamie Blatnick trying to strip the ball from him on the way. Potts last week played in the second half and got a lot of the credit for the running game. He checked to the run out of pass plays so many times at the line of scrimmage, and they all seem to work.
You know what? And you've got to spread out Oklahoma State defense. So when he does check to run, he's checking because of numbers on the inside.
Fakes one side, then a little shovel pass to Batch, and Oklahoma State was ready for that one. Swanson, Miller, and Jamie Blatnick combined for the tackle.
That's just great discipline there on the part of Oklahoma State, because Baron Batch, if you let him loose, he has a lot of power and a lot of speed.
3rd and 5. Oklahoma State shows pressure. Now they back out. Potts wanted to go to Batch, but he was covered. And he can go underneath to Detron Lewis and pick up the first down instead.
Well, they dropped 8 into coverage, and the fact that Potts was bumped, Mike, really kept him from throwing the ball to the flat underneath where the check down was. So Oklahoma State, by bumping Potts in the backfield, allowed Detron Lewis to get open. Potts, the good thing about him, he kept his eyes down the field to find his receiver.
Lewis had gotten off to a very slow start, but that was his 47th grab of the year, and he leads the team. 4-man rush this time, and over the middle to Adam James. And Craig, when your son gets upended like that's got to make you a little nervous.
I got to tell you, I did kind of flinch on the backside right there.
Don't blame me.
Yeah, nice job of Potts finding Adam James underneath there. And you know, if you're going to get hit, you run to the middle of the field. There's somebody waiting on you over there.
Yes, sir. It's a good thing he's 6'3", 216.
Good looking too, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Looks just like his mother.
His mom.
Absolutely.
Yep.
She's sitting right to our right side.
This one's out in the flat to Stevens, and Stevens with a couple of good moves up to the 45-yard line.
You know, Oklahoma State's defense, though, they're fast. You can see them matching up. I mean, there's not going to be a lot of open space as Tech wants to do with their receivers. I mean, they're going to be covered up. They'll have to make them flinch and miss in open space.
Potts with the first down at his own 46-yard line. Scoreless first quarter. Really good protection, and Potts throws a strike, and that'll be another first down. And Alex Torres, who has really come on late in the year as well.
Yeah, you know what? Torres doesn't make this catch, though, if the offensive line doesn't do their job. That offensive line up front, they've moved around quite a bit throughout the season. But you see there that the shuffling, playing the piano, as they call it, up front. Brandon Carter, he'll hit you in the ear hole.
Batch, the Oklahoma State 36-yard line. Middle linebacker Donald Booker was there to make the tackle.
These two teams are so close and similar in athletes and style, and it's so competitive in recruiting around this region here. This game just means a lot to both coaches and players.
Flanker screen, Jacoby Franks, and he's got a first down at the 26-yard line.
Yeah, that flanker screen worked so well for the University of Houston earlier in the season, but it just comes down to numbers. I asked Leach on the field before the game. I said, hey, Mike, what are you looking for there? And he goes, Craig, we're looking for numbers. We want to outnumber them. If we've got better blocking numbers there, we'll run it and throw it out there. If not, we'll check inside. We'll run the football.
One Adam James with a good block on that last screen to give them some extra yardage. Now Stevens and Batch are both in the backfield. Potts wants to throw anyway. Down the middle. hung it up a little bit, almost intercepted and tipped away. Was intended for Lewis, but Markel Martin, number 10, was there to get a hand on it.
That's just an example, though, of how diverse this offense is. That's the same look they've run twice earlier. Once they threw the screen to the right side. Once they shoveled underneath to the running back. The third time they run that look, it's deep down the field.
Excuse me, that was Britton, the intended receiver in the end zone. Cowboys come with a little pressure. Potts flushed out of the pocket. Hangs it up, had a receiver wide open and then overthrew him. Alex Torres had found an opening in the defense and was camped out at about the 2-yard line.
With 2 Oklahoma State defenders around him, right? You know, you're going to make a mistake again if Taylor Potts keeps throwing the ball off his back foot wildly down the field. He has to be precise. These guys are not going to be wide open.
3rd and 10. Too high and incomplete. Off the fingertips of Lyle Leon.
A little bit of pressure that's coming in, but plenty of time for Potts to set his feet and properly deliver the ball on time. But you're going to see what I'm talking about. See, he's fallen back a little bit, a little sidearm on this delivery. Of course, the defensive lineman was his hands up, and that's what Bill Young's telling his guys tonight. Get your hands up, which will force a high throw.
Almost any time you see a quarterback throw off his back foot, the ball's going to sail. This will be a 43-yard field goal attempt for Matt Williams. It's hooking ever so slightly and enough to go outside the left upright. So Texas Tech comes up empty after a pretty good drive. We're still scoreless first quarter at Oklahoma State. It's good for anything. Oklahoma State will start from its own 26 in a scoreless first quarter. His running back Kendall Hunter. Little option. Hunter with a late toss and very well defended by Texas Tech. Let's check in with Heather.
Well, guys, I watched Kendall Hunter during warm-ups with his coaches, who agreed that Kendall was not nearly as fast as he's capable of at full strength and is basically running straight ahead as opposed to his usual shifty style. Despite that, coaches said he'll definitely get more time tonight as they try to work him back in. They like him even at about 80%, guys.
Well, Heather, those ankle injuries are very troubling, especially if they refer to it as a high ankle sprain, something that never used to be talked about. It was just an ankle is an ankle. Now it's a high ankle sprain, and they can take forever. Robinson, pressure, got it out for a completion. It's not going to pick up hardly anything to any of them.
You know, the thing that I look at from my observation for Oklahoma State is if you've got a very healthy Keith Toston, who is doing outstanding right now. I mean, 206 yards in their last game on the ground against Iowa State. I stick with what's hot. You know, I know Hunter's good,
hot.
but it's not like Toston can't play.
Third and about 2. Toston fighting for the yardage, dives forward, and he looked like he just got the first down as Brian Duncan, the middle linebacker, couldn't quite stop him in time.
Well, an appropriate name for what number 5 did to Iowa State last week. Keith Toston, you see the speed that he has. Of course, he was in empty space, right? I mean, lots of open space and running. But once he sees it, he turns and he goes. You know, he's the number 2 rusher in the Big 12. He's just quietly having a great year. Came into this game 882 yards. He's sneaking up on $1,000,000.
Yes, he is. Not really sneaking up on it either.
That's a good point.
Robinson under pressure. Sacked for the second time, and Richard Jones, a 6'1", 280-pound senior, flattened him that time.
Well, let me tell you right now, this is a surprise to Oklahoma State. They came into this game, they'd allowed 4 sacks on the season. That's the best in the country. 2 already in this ball game.
Well, we'll have a story if Russell Okung, big number 76, gives up one. He hasn't given up one in 620 snaps this year. And only 2 hurries. He just takes his man out of the game. Toston. This has been an up and down defense for Texas Tech, hasn't it, Craig?
Yeah, but this year more up. I mean, I follow Tech obviously because my son plays there. I think it's a better team this year than it was last year. Record's not the same, but it's a better football team and a far better defense. Ruffin McNeil is just an outstanding coach and has done a lot of good in teaching and getting his players to play fast.
3rd down, 13 yards to go for Robinson and the Cowboys. And they'll have to bring on the punting unit. There is a flag down. Ray John Henley chased him down.
Roughing the passer. Number 53 on the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Going to call Daniel Howard for a roughing penalty.
Mike, I want to give you an example of what Ruffin McNeil has done for this football team and how smart they are. You're going to see Ray John Henley from the inside, and it's a screen, and there he is, a defensive tackle. He reads it, and he goes immediately to the outside. Now, what that does is it takes away the cutback, and it's smart. Toston, those receivers, they can't come back. So the fact that these guys are understanding the game, they're playing better.
But what a huge mistake on 3rd and 13 to commit that kind of penalty. And Howard not too happy about the call, it appears, either. Moves it all the way out to the 47-yard line for a first down. .452 and counting in the first quarter, and these 2 explosive offenses have yet to register a point. Hunter. Daniel Howard on the tackle.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring up time of possession and the clock and everything. Oklahoma State, one of the better teams in the country, they average about 33 minutes time of possession. Part of the strategy, obviously, tonight, keep Texas Tech's offense on the sidelines.
The fewer snaps they get, the better for Oklahoma State.
Yep.
Hunter on the toss. Fighting for those extra yards, gets down near the 42-yard line. Bird, the strong side linebacker, made the tackle.
Yeah, but that's a good job of moving the chains and staying ahead of the numbers. 3rd and short. That big talented offensive line up front just kind of lean on you.
Mike Gundy arguing the spot. Another foot gives them a first down. Instead, they're facing a 3rd and short. Toston back in. He's the bigger back at 214. But Robinson will take it himself.
And I mentioned it in the open, Zac Robinson coming into this football game. The last time at home, they played Texas, and they had a bad night. Texas just thumped them. And you know, the 4 interceptions Robinson threw, you know, as a competitor, it bugged him. And so this is a game where he wants to come back, home crowd, big rivalry kind of game with Tech.
That's Richard Jones, who is still down. We'll check on the big guy when we come back. 3:23 to go first quarter from Stillwater. Welcome back to Boone Pickens Stadium at Oklahoma State. It's the Cowboys against the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Scoreless here late in the first quarter. Robinson in the shotgun on first down. Toston in the backfield with him. Run the option, Toston. Brian Duncan with the tackle.
Yeah, you know what? When you get there and you see that call from the sidelines, Mike Gundy looking for the opportunity to get angles with his back by motioning him and putting him over on the left side. All of a sudden, they go to the short side of the field, and they're able to block down and contain the linebackers and keep them from pursuing. Moving them again.
And this time they got caught. Going to be a procedure penalty.
Try the snap. Illegal snap on the center, number 54. 5-yard penalty. Remains second.
And that pitch on that play that seems to be predetermined. It doesn't look like he's reading anything. He's just going to toss it out.
Trying to get, because you know you've got the blocking angles. You're going to get your linebackers cutting them off, and you're trying to get speed to the corner. And then being a short side of the field, Mike, you know, the sooner you get it to the back and firmer, the better chance he has to get up the field.
This will be the 10th play of the drive. Penalty makes it 2nd and 6.
Come on.
Now, there is a read on that one, obviously. And you know, and it's one of those at the end where Zac Robinson just says, hey, look, this is a bad play. I'd rather you get hit than me. You take it. Hot potato cheers.
I think that was his intent all along. Had some penetration. I think he was concerned about getting the toss out there in a hurry.
Yeah, you know what? And Zac Robinson has to attack that end man line of scrimmage. He's got to take him out of the play, and he let him play in no man's land there. One guy played
6.
2.
They give it off to Bo Johnson, who is the number 3 running back, and he reaches the 34-yard line, but that's shy. So now you're in Never Never Land at the 34. It would be a 52-yard field goal try. You don't want to punt because you might only pick up 14 net yards. So do you go for it?
Absolutely. Yep. If you don't have confidence in your kicker or don't want to put that pressure on him, nothing to lose here by going for it. The one thing they've not had going for them tonight, though, is the running game. A team that came into this game averaging 196 on the ground, leading the Big 12. They've not gotten that going yet, so that handicaps you a little bit here on your 4th down call.
4th and about a foot. We have a timeout. Let's go to the studio and check in with Matt Weiner. Matt?
All right, Mike, let's get a Taco Bell update from Baton Rouge. LSU is 17-1 all-time against Louisiana Tech, but trailing at halftime. Just before half on 4th down, Daniel Porter to Dennis Morris. It's 13-10 Bulldogs.
Louisiana Tech is leading LSU at the half.
Let them play for the national championship. This is a year for the mid-majors and for the smaller schools. Of course, I see where Jarrett Lee's playing quarterback. Jordan Jefferson's not in that game.
Still, this would be the national championship game for La Tech if they could knock off LSU.
Amen, brother. Interesting play selection so far through this game for Oklahoma State. 12 run, 2 pass. So keep that in mind as you contemplate this 4th down call.
They need to reach the 30-yard line for a 1st down. Robinson with time underneath and incomplete through the hands of Tracy Moore, but a flag goes down. Marlon Williams had the coverage on Moore.
Yeah, he also had the hip of Moore.
Pass interference on the defense. Number 16. That's a spot foul. It's an automatic 1st down.
Wow,
called it on Cody Davis instead of Marlon Williams.
That's not who I saw with the interference. I thought that underneath.
No, Cody Davis is just getting into the picture.
Yeah, there it is, the holding there with Williams, 39. And of course, Ruffin just a little late on the coverage, and you had to make up for it by holding the hip.
Robinson with time for the end zone. Touchdown. Anium was open, and what a throw by Robinson. Ended up double covered, but the pass was just high enough to get over the outstretched arm of the defender. What a throw. Bailey for the point after. And he tacks on number 7 after a 74-yard drive.
Yeah, Jamar Wall, number 3, not able to get his hands on Anium there, and then a nice job of going up catching the ball. The safety coming over. One of two things: you got to go for the football, or you got to smack the receiver. And Anium focused nicely on that football.
Franklin Mitchum, number 26, was the guy you saw flashing through your screen. He's the safety who came over in support, but he couldn't get a hand on it. Plays. It took nearly 7 minutes off of the first quarter clock.
Couldn't have been drawn up any nicer, though, by Mike Gundy. 7 minutes, go down, score a touchdown. A couple of penalties you see there by Tech that helped keep that drive alive.
And remember the 3rd and 13. And the 15-yard penalty gave him a first down on that one. Stevenson, Zuzalik are deep. 7 points doesn't bother Mike Leach and that Texas Tech offense too much. Stevens from the 3. Swarmed at the 25. Matthias Long, a backup safety, the first man down on special teams.
Stevens is a heck of an explosive player, and Tech, the coaches are looking for that breakout guy for their kicking game. Punting, punt return, kick return, that they can really take it. This true freshman, he's got the potential to be an explosive player.
Potential is the biggest label you can get, isn't it? There's a big burden that goes along with that.
I guess it's better than me not saying he doesn't have it, right?
Have potential. With an empty backfield, goes out to Baron Batch, and Batch can't handle it.
And I told you about the play selection of Oklahoma State for Texas Tech. They've been just the opposite. 3 runs and 13 passes. And I thought last year one of the strengths of this Tech offense was the fact that they could run the football, and they ran it well.
Potts has missed his last 4 passes. Connects on that one, however. Detron Lewis with his 2nd grab of the night, and he's got a first down at the 36-yard line.
Yeah, there are a lot of bodies that Tech puts in the secondary with the receivers crossing, and it puts pressure on the secondary, linebacker level especially, to pick up and recognize receivers coming across.
They get it out quickly to Swindall. And Swindall crosses midfield. You know, thinking about Lewis, you'd think he would be having a bigger year this season, Craig, because he was the 2nd guy to Crabtree a season ago. Now you would think it was his team, but his numbers are down.
Yeah, I think Graham Harrell last year looked right most all the time. And that's where Lewis was, and Crabtree on the right side. And that's completely different this year. These quarterbacks are looking left, middle, and right.
Two backs and 3 wideouts in this set. Stevens will get the carry. And he reaches the 46-yard line. That's the end of the first quarter. This presentation of Saturday Night Football, presented by Southwest Airlines, will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Tailgaters enjoying watching the replay of the touchdown as Oklahoma State takes the 7-0 lead over Texas Tech here at the end of the first quarter. And let's check in with Heather Cox. Heather.
Well, guys, this arena is state-of-the-art, but the one thing that's a little unusual, it's like an arena football stadium, guys. There's only about 2 feet between the player benches and the fans, and it has gotten very loud here, especially when Texas Tech has the ball. Very unusual confines down here.
Man. All right, Heather, I'd get out of there if I were you.
Right, protect yourself.
Tend to drop things over the edge. Is at the 46-yard line. Texas Tech facing a 2nd and 6 in Oklahoma State territory. Stevenson, Batch, both in the backfield. And Potts has this one knocked down at the line of scrimmage. And it was big number 98, Derek Burton, who they moved from a defensive end spot and put him in tackle. He's a very good athlete.
Well, and you know what Bill Young taught his team this week? He said, fellas, when the ball is about to be going in the air, defensive tackles and ends, jump, get your hands up. That's one deflected pass. And the other one, remember, Mike, we saw the high throw because the hands were in the air.
Texas Tech needs 5 to keep the drive going on 3rd down. Incomplete. Should have been caught by Detron Lewis in his hands, but Markel Martin was there and may have gotten a piece of it.
You know what? The execution here just not quite there. Detron Lewis was open early. The ball wasn't there, and Oklahoma State not fooled about the routes and the recognition, but a good job coming up. Martin with the coverage.
On almost every play, they've had a spy out there looking for screens. And Texas Tech showing that they're going to go for it. Will they really? On 4th and 6? Nope.
Delay game on the offense. Number 15, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Doesn't cost you a thing to try to fool them, does it?
No, nothing at all, and you need the 5 extra yards for your punt. Now, this Oklahoma State defense, they forced 50 punts in 9 games coming into this one. Last year, they had 52 that they forced in 13 games. So they're getting their opponents off the field, regardless of who they are.
Eric Slavin will punt to the very dangerous Parrish Cox, the Big 12 career leader in return yards. He has been a weapon for them on special teams. Nice kick. Cox backpedals to the 5. Look out! Reached the 22. Saving tackle by Riley Harvey. It's a 17-yard return. Could have gone for 95.
And that was going for 95. Harvey breaking through to get to the legs of Cox, saved a big explosive play.
Flag down all the way back at the 5.
During the return, block in the back on the return team. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
That's going to wipe out that outstanding return. That was play number 12 next week on ABC at 3:30 p.m. We'll reveal play number 11 for you out of the top 30 plays in the last 30 years.
That was an outstanding play, though, wasn't it?
Oh, spectacular.
It's such an impact on the entire 08 season.
Oklahoma State looking for a little working room, and Toston will push his way out to the 7-yard line.
Well, this Tech run defense doing an outstanding job against an offense on the ground that averages about 200 a game. So far tonight, 13 carries, 27 yards, less than 2 a carry. I mean, they're doing their job.
They've been good at it for the last 4 years. They've led the Big 12 every season. Tonight, no exception. As Robinson looks to the sideline for the signal he wants. Toston again runs into his own man and then stacked up at the 7-yard line.
You know, I've watched the development of this Tech defense, and their defensive linemen have gotten so much better that has made the back 7 a lot better. Just the push right there on that play. I mean, they just did not bow.
And with this offense, any kind of a defense makes them an extremely dangerous team. Toston again. Picks his way, but only to the 9. And they'll have to kick it away as Marlon Williams made the tackle.
Well, that Oklahoma State offense, I think what they said there was, let's not make a mistake down here.
You bet.
You know, our defense is playing pretty well against Tech's offense. Let's punt the football out of here.
Sharp. A really good athlete for a punter. Shanks this one.
You did it again.
Yeah. Kiss of death.
Please don't say anything about my son, Adam.
Point well taken. That kick only went 32.
Saturday Night Football on ABC. Presented by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Aflac. We've got you under our wing. And Bud Light. With the just right taste that's not too heavy, not too light. The difference is drinkability.
Eskimo Joe's just a block away from campus, known for its burgers, chicken sandwiches, and their specialty, chili cheese fries. Oh, my gracious sakes.
Give me 2.
Oklahoma State lost its playmaker, one of the best receivers in the country, when Des Bryant was suspended earlier this year. He was coming off a great 2008 and a great start in 09 when the NCAA suspended him for lying to investigators about a meeting that he had with Deion Sanders. His final appeal was denied. Bryant subsequently decided to enter next year's NFL draft. Only had 17 catches this year, but for 323 yards. And if all he did was not tell the NCAA the truth about the investigation, if he didn't break any rules, that seems like a very harsh penalty.
That's a pretty stiff penalty, and it's really something that's impacted this university. It's impacted Mike Gundy and how he's had to coach his football team, and a very unfortunate situation for everybody involved.
Texas Tech, after the poor punt, starts at the 41. Taylor Potts has Stevens and Batch with him in the backfield. 4-man rush, plenty of time. And a complete pass to Lyle Leong. When you mention Des Bryant, you're absolutely correct. It's not just him. It's all of his teammates. It's the school. It's the state of Oklahoma and everybody that roots for this ball club.
If what we hear is all that they have, and it's lying that he had dinner at some man's house, which is not an infraction, but the lying part, then the penalty is too stiff. And you know, if it were my son, I would be furious. You know, and I'd go after the NCAA. I'd challenge him big time.
86, 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
And I'm talking about, I'd say, look, you've got to come up with something more than that. And that's what Mike Gundy, I mean, Mike, he can't say anything about the situation, but I know inside he's thinking, look, man, the guy made a mistake. He's a young man. He made a mistake, felt pressure. He lied. I just think it's way too stiff for what it's meant to this university.
Texas Tech gets Swindall in plenty of room for a first down. Not that we're saying that lying to an official in an investigation is what you ought to do and shouldn't be punished in some form, but to be suspended for the entire year just seems sort of draconian to me.
Well, way too stiff of a penalty. I mean, it's not in line with the infraction against him. Now, if they know something else, something more than we know about it, that they're saying it's private, then maybe it is warranted.
Batch in the flat, and Potts missed him. Heather Cox, you have more on that?
Indeed, Des Bryant is eligible to come back next year. At least he was until he withdrew from school and declared himself eligible. So on Tuesday, he flew to Tampa to begin his training. He said he misses playing. He watches the games on TV, but admitted it's hard. He said, quote, "I don't understand why the NCAA did this to me." He feels he made a mistake, but that the penalty doesn't match the severity. Guy's currently projected the #1 receiver and 11th in the draft.
He is a good one. He'll be playing on Sundays for a long time. Detron Lewis inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line. Should be enough for a first down. Terrence Anderson made the tackle.
You know, that gets Potts back in rhythm a little bit there. And Detron Lewis, they put him singled up on the right side by himself. Trips 3 receivers to the left. That's a lot of pressure on a defensive back that has to be covered. And right now, Terrence Anderson, he's a senior, but that's a lots of responsibility against Detron Lewis.
Now they have trips to this side. And Lewis is the only wide receiver on the right. Another flag. I don't think they got the playoff in time. As the handoff was to Baron Batch. Either that or somebody moved up front.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, number 78, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
It's Lonnie Edwards who has taken over one of the starting guard spots.
Now this offense in the red zone, they've been hot this year. 35 of 41. Their last 6 games, 24 of 27, all 24 touchdowns. So once they get down there, they're putting 6 on the board.
Potts with good protection for the end zone and off the fingertips of Parrish Cox. He almost had his second interception. Swindall was the closest receiver.
And again, this Bill Young defense. Bill Young, remember now, before he came here, back a few years ago, he was at Kansas as a defensive coordinator and had some success against the Tech offense. So he's seen Mike Leach before. This is not his first rodeo against the Red Raiders.
Well, among his stops, Ohio State, Oklahoma. He had been in Oklahoma State years ago. They'll go on the draw with Batch. And Batch doesn't quite make it back to the original line of scrimmage. Good set of linebackers on this Oklahoma State ball club.
Yeah, they really are.
In fact, they've got 9 out of 11 seniors on this unit.
That's a good point you make. And, you know, when you get a coordinator like Bill Young in there that simplifies and allows all that athleticism and experience to play the game, you get the results that they're having now at Oklahoma State.
3rd and 11. Potts nearly hit, and the pass is incomplete. Jacoby Franks dove for it, but couldn't come up with it. They'll force another field goal try, presumably.
That's not good when you only have 3 rushers that are coming after your quarterback on the left side. You've got 2 that are trying to block. Chris Olsen on the left side there, number 70. Just a lot of speed by Jeremiah Price. And Olsen will have to readjust his dauber and get those feet back a little faster.
Price is one of those guys who gets down in that track stance on almost all 4s and just fires when the ball is snapped. This is from 34. Williams has missed from 43. Knocks this one through. And Texas Tech finally on the board with 9:58 to go in the first half. They're still down by 4 at Okie State. Surprisingly, a low-scoring ball game so far, considering the output of guys like Potts and Sheffield for Texas Tech and Zac Robinson for Oklahoma State. It's only 7-3 in the second quarter. And Potts has already hit 7 different guys in about 20 minutes of play.
Yeah, but I guarantee you Bill Young would say, we'll take 3 right now.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? He's doing a heck of a job on defense right now with his guys and the calls and keeping Tech's receivers in front of him.
Thomas and Cox are deep. Cox has 4 touchdown returns in his career. Stutter step gets him free for a minute, but he won't even make the 15-yard line. Flag is down. Taylor Charbonnet was the first man down on special teams to make a tackle. Let's check the flag.
They're on the return, block in the back on the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Let's check with Matt Weiner in the studio. Matt?
Thank you, Mike. Let's get a Verizon Wireless update on TCU, looking very much the part of the number 4 team in the country and a national title contender, perhaps. Jordan Wynn picked up by Tank Carter, 35-14 in Texas, headed toward halftime.
They are rolling again. That's a pretty good ball club.
Oklahoma State, the punt return block in the back, kick return block in the back. They not doing themselves any favors here on the start of the field position here.
No, they're not. Kendall Hunter is the running back. He'll get the carry, runs into his own man. A really nice job by Bront Bird, who just jammed it up at the point of attack, made Hunter go to his left and had some teammates there waiting for him.
That's a little tendency there for you. Ruffin McNeil, D coordinator, said that from the field, we'll bring a linebacker off the corner. We're going to bring pressure. He felt like that bringing pressure against Zac Robinson was far better than sitting back and letting him read and pick you apart.
Robinson retreats into the end zone to take the snap. Pressure comes. Boy, that's a dangerous throw. Trying to set up a screen to Anium. But anything could have happened on that one.
You know what, Mike? I'm watching this game now. Coming in, the offensive line at Oak State was good. They are good. But they led the country in the fewest sacks allowed, right?
Absolutely.
We've already had 2 sacks here by Tech's defensive line, and pressures coming several other times.
3rd and long here. Go all the way out to the 18 for a first down. Robinson with better protection this time. Throws behind his intended receiver. Crowd wanted a flag. Anium had to spin all the way around. Jamar Wall was out there with him. Oklahoma State has gone 3 and out on 3 of their 4 possessions. Fortunately for them, the other one was a time-consuming drive for a touchdown, and Sheffield limbering up.
Well, you know what? Heather and I watched him. If he comes in, Heather and I stood with Mike Leach in pregame and watched Sheffield. He's not solid on that foot that's got screws in it.
He had surgery. I'm sure they would prefer to rest him. There's Zuzak. That's a couple of yards taken down to 46, a 4-yard return. Heather, what do you know about Sheffield down there?
Well, guys, after the last offensive possession, Mike Leach was visibly frustrated with Taylor Potts' production. He went over to Potts, got in his face. Sheffield actually picked him up, helped him out as a friend. Then moments ago, Leach came over to both quarterbacks, huddled them up, and then pulled Stephen Sheffield aside. You got immediately the impression that Taylor Potts was told he wasn't going to play. Sheffield ran over, got his helmet, started stretching and warming up. And Craig, like you said, he was gimpy. This was his first week back in practice, very gimpy with those 3 screws in his foot.
I tell you what he's going to have to do is get rid of the football. His foot will not be capable of taking a shot to ignore him running out of the pocket.
Sheffield with a surgically repaired left foot. Gets that one out in a hurry, and that was a bullet to Alex Torres.
Well, we were there for this football game against Nebraska, and Sticks, as they call him, was hot. He was all over Nebraska early in the game. And Ndamukong Suh there with a shot. Sheffield goes in for a score. You can see a little limp, but we did not know during that football game that, and I don't think Sticks did either, they had a busted foot.
Sheffield again gets it out in a hurry. And there goes Adam James.
Sorry about that. A little hand clap.
Mom and Dad are loving this, I'll tell you. And why not?
You know, the thing is that you watch the development of Sticks. He gets the ball out quick, and Adam worked hard on this particular play during the spring and in the 2-a-days of getting the ball and getting up the field, running past defenders.
The numbers that Sheffield has put up before he hurt his foot have been absolutely ridiculous. He's completing almost 75% of his passes. Batch on the draw down to the 20. Sheffield is a guy who walked on out of Pflugerville, Texas, didn't get a scholarship. Worked hard to develop his skills. I mean, 3 years as a walk-on, you got to hang around a lot. You got to love football a lot to do that.
The word is persevere, right? And you got to stay in there and believe in yourself and not give up and wait for the opportunity and be prepared when it comes.
Batch, boy, almost blown up on that play. They got it out in a hurry, and Parrish Cox came up from the secondary, and the timing of that one didn't work. An excellent recognition by the Okie State defense.
And this Oak State defense gave up 366 passing yards to the University of Houston's offense earlier this year. Most of them on screens like that. Bill Young had his team prepared, though. Tech and Houston run the same offenses. They're ready for that.
He said we've got to do a better job on screens because Houston destroyed them with it. Sheffield again, pressure coming. And that looks like a pick. As Sheffield throws to the corner of the end zone, is it Parrish Cox again?
Parrish Cox came into this game with a couple of picks, and teams had stopped trying to go at him because he's such a playmaker.
Momentum went into the end zone.
2 for Cox tonight, 4 for the season.
Cox is on the backside here. Not sure what Sticks was looking at, but he's already back in deep, trying to throw it into Adam James, and Cox is back there, and he's prepared. He had the position on the ball.
Almost simultaneous possession. The pass is thrown a little bit further inside. James has a better crack at it, but Cox comes up with the interception. And he went out of bounds a yard and a half from the goal line.
Yeah, said his momentum was on the field. Well, what a great play by Oklahoma State to help their offense out.
And once again, Oklahoma State just trying to wedge out some room to work. They've been stuck in this end of the football field.
Yeah, just not having the ground game, the ability to run the football like they have had coming into this game. I think they're going to have to come out and they're going to have to get a little bit stronger on the inside with those defensive tackles of Texas Tech.
2nd and 8. Toston is the tailback. Robinson guns this one, but he threw it behind the intended receiver. And that was Dameron Fuchs.
It's going to be really hard to throw against that defense that when they're only rushing 4, they have the ability to drop 7 into coverage. So Zac Robinson doesn't have that play action. 17 carries, 28 yards on the night for Oak State. So that's a real big part of their game plan.
They have run their last 8 plays inside their own 10-yard line. They just can't get out of there. Robinson, look out. Got back to the 2, and that's it. Nearly a safety as Ray John Henley chased him down, and boy, there's been good pressure out of that Texas Tech front 4.
And just getting it done with 4. I mean, I think what is surprising, this Oklahoma State offensive line that had given up 4 sacks all year, now 3 tonight, is the speed and relentless energy of the defensive tackles and ends of Texas Tech.
Zuzalik waits near midfield for Sharp's punt. Booms this one, drives him back to the 43. Zuzalik with an opening to the 31. A 27-yard return before the punter, Quinn Sharp, can make the tackle.
Austin Zuzalik is a very explosive type of football player. He was a quarterback in high school, made the transition, now playing the wide receiver spot. But he's a dynamic guy, and Tech's special teams coordinator Eric Russell is looking for someone who can make the big plays. But the fact that Zuzalik had the time to start right and then cut up the field, it spread out the punt coverage.
Pretty good tackle by a punter. So Texas Tech with great field position again. They'll start inside the Oklahoma State 33. Jeffers was the man in motion. Sheffield back to throw. Has the first down to 21. Detron Lewis went down as soon as he made that catch. Looked like he just wanted to make sure he caught that one.
Yeah, it was a smart decision there. But you see the ability, the playmaking skills of Sheffield and what he's doing out here. He just moves around. He's a little bit quicker than Potts is on his decision making.
Well, he seems to know where everybody is or is supposed to be. And he gets it out of there in a hurry. Batch picks up about 4. Middle linebacker Donald Booker was there along with Johnny Thomas. Booker is in there and has been all year. Ori Lemon, their middle linebacker from a year ago, was lost in 2-a-days. They have lost some critical players off of this ball club and still marched on. Oklahoma State jumps. The pass just tipped away. Swindall went up, couldn't get it, and Cox was there again. Boy, is he having a heck of a night.
You know, he really is, because Swindall is behind him, and Cox has such great athletic ability to adjust the ball in the air. I mean, that's 2 really good plays.
Offside on the defense. Number 90, 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Swanson Miller jumped early.
But you see, again, 2 plays in a row where Cox has gone up and timed the ball and been able to make a play on it down in the end zone.
Well, Cox is one of those guys that jumps and just seems to stay there. I'd throw to the other side, wouldn't you?
Yeah, think
he's killing him. 2nd and a yard. And they'll have enough for a first down as Jeffers gets his first carry of the night. Got a lot of quickness.
Well, at some point in this game, Oklahoma State's offense is going to have to get on track. They've only had 24 snaps. Texas Tech now 36 plays they've run. So exactly opposite of what the trend has been for Oak State. They've had 33 minutes throughout the year. One of the best in the country.
1st and goal from just outside the 9. They have protected Sheffield well so far. Quick flanker screen, and that time Swindall was looking to see where he could run before he caught the ball, and it went right through his hands.
Either that or he was looking to see who was about to hit him in the mustache.
Well, that too.
I know I'd like to get my head around as quick as I could.
Last 17 plays, Texas Tech has been on OSU's side of the 50. Haven't gotten much out of it. The last 9 plays for Oklahoma State have come from inside their own 10. And we're down on this end of the field again. 2nd and goal. Sheffield out in the flat. Batch. What a tackle by Sexton. The strong side linebacker, one-on-one in open space, and that's what this spread offense is all about, open space.
What an excellent job there of Sexton. But notice, as soon as the ball was in the air, Sexton was already on his way. He got on his horse. He limited the amount of space between the receiver and the defender when it was caught.
Batch has 4 catches in this game. He's lost 11 yards. 4 catches for -11.
I'm bad with math and dividing going backwards. On that average.
2 3/4 is close enough. 3rd and goal. Can they hold him to a field goal try again? Flags are down.
Timeout. Texas Tech. First timeout in the half.
Timeout, I believe, called from the sideline with 3:11 to go in the first half. They want to get this one right. It's 3rd and goal. Here's this week's Aflac trivia question. Zac Robinson just passed his coach, Mike Gundy, for first place on OSU's career passing yards list. Who is in third place, and what pro team does he play for now?
Of course, Mike Gundy is quick to point out that in his era of football, they only threw the ball 20, 21, 22 times a game.
And he's right.
Yeah.
He also had Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders behind him, which has got to be a great comfort for a quarterback. 3rd and goal. Sheffield in relief of Taylor Potts at quarterback. And Sheffield throws touchdown. Alex Torres on a post, and Sheffield put it right there. Nice throw. Well, when you let an offense like Texas Tech get that many snaps on your side of the field, eventually somebody's going to burn you. Point after is good, and Texas Tech takes the lead for the first time, 10-7. We're at Oklahoma State, just over 3 minutes to go, first half. Is this the start of a shootout? Welcome back to Oklahoma State. Sheffield comes off the bench to replace Potts and puts points on the board.
You know what? This football team has all the confidence in the world in all 3 of their quarterbacks, Seth Dagey as well. You know, sometimes you just need a little change of rhythm and pace and tempo, and new hot arm out there.
Dagey started last week. Cox buried at the 17-yard line. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary as we come to you from Oklahoma State tonight with Texas Tech and the Cowboys. Parrish Cox, couple interceptions, couple of tackles, pass breakup. Anium gets the first score of the ball game, and then Torres on a great throw from Sheffield gets one for Texas Tech, and that's where we stand at 10-7. Robinson will go back to work. Forced out of the pocket, dumps it to his back. Hunter with room to run. 40, 45, dragging 2 tacklers with him. A gain of 27 yards.
What an outstanding play by Zac Robinson. Pressure again coming by Tech's only 4 rushers. Pressure coming inside. Robinson buying time. He's a very athletic young man. He can run the ball, but instead dumps it off. And the game is a matter of inches, isn't it?
Isn't it? Bront Bird nearly had a gift interception. The pass just whistled past him. Robinson this time will hand it off to Hunter. You'd be impressed with that Texas Tech run defense tonight.
You and I saw them against Nebraska a few weeks ago. They're good up front. I mean, they're physical, they're quick. And up until this drive, they'd limited Oklahoma State to 58 yards offense. So doing something
pretty darn good. And this is the best running team in the Big 12. 4-man rush. Robinson again pressured out of the pocket. This time they'll keep it. Should have enough for a first down. Needing to reach the 45. They'll mark it just inside that strike.
That's what I like about Zac Robinson. He's got the legs and the wheels, and when he knows he has to run, he's going to take off. The previous time he pulled up and he threw it to Hunter underneath. So Zac Robinson in this game here, I would not be surprised for them to open up and get away from that 4-man rush to put pressure on, to change their look over there. He needs to run some more.
Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Good protection this time, but Robinson can't find anybody. Now he's pressured and throws incomplete. Well, we asked you who is number 3 in our Aflac trivia question on Oklahoma State's career passing list. behind Robinson and Gundy? The answer, Josh Fields. Kansas City Royals just traded in the offseason from the Chicago White Sox. Trick question. He's not playing in the NFL. He's playing in Major League Baseball. Sorry about that.
You got me.
Me too. 2nd and 10 for Robinson and the Cowboys from the 45. 3-man rush this time. They dropped 8 and he can't find anybody. Knocked out at the 45.
You know, one of the things in the changeup I was talking about, and it's his running has forced this. Robinson's running. You'll see Howard 53. Watch what he does. He just plays a little spy towards the middle. He's looking for Zac Robinson now. You see that? That's a little tweak in there. Don't rush him, spy him. That's the result of a scramble, and it put pressure on Ruff and McNeil. D coordinator, change it up.
3rd and 10. Texas Tech has certainly taken this crowd out of it.
Really have. They've not been there yet.
They're not making any noise at all. Robinson again with plenty of time. Throws incomplete. It was a good toss, but Jamar Wall was there with DeMarcus Connor and broke it up.
Yeah, really a nice job of Wall of accelerating through the ball, staying off the receiver. And Jamar Wall is an outstanding athlete that's really come on as a corner cover man. Right hand just on the inside of that hip, but timed it out appropriately.
You can touch a guy, you just can't alter his path, and he did not. He got a piece of the ball with his left hand. High snap. Sharp gets it away. Fair catch made at the 13-yard line. 32-yard kick and no return. ESPN's Monday Night Football continues. We'll be in the AFC North. Ray Lewis leads the Baltimore Ravens against Jamal Lewis and the Cleveland Browns. Monday Night Football at 8:30 Eastern. Our coverage starts with Monday Night Countdown, served by Applebee's at 7 Eastern.
Did I read somewhere that Jamal Lewis said that they were working him too hard in Cleveland in practice?
Well, that's not going to make him a lot of fans, is it? Texas Tech starts at its own 13. Sheffield, little shovel pass. Batch will pick up 8. Nice conservative call.
Yeah, I think that's a respect call to Bill Young's defense there.
Yes.
You know, you've been doing well offensively, but this is a new territory. They're usually starting over on the plus side. Tech's backed up with their starting field position now.
2nd and 2. Sheffield gets it out in a hurry. He's going to have a first down as Torres makes the grab and goes across the 30 to the 31. Coming up, our Capital One halftime report. John Saunders and Jesse Palmer will bring you up to date on the busy day in college football. And we have 55 seconds on the clock here at Oklahoma City before we go to the studio. And that update. Swindall across the 40 to about the 41. Good tackle by Markel Martin, the free safety.
But you know that when you're playing against Texas Tech, and if there's time on the clock and they have timeouts, it doesn't matter what the situation is. They're going pedals down. So defensively, you got to stay back. You got to see it and expect pressure.
They still have 2 timeouts. And this one will get out of bounds as Leong makes the catch and was able to stop the clock at the 37-second mark.
Well, this Tech offense, there's no question that they know how to get it done in a quick and short period of time. But that's no surprise to Oak State. Bill Young's made sure his defense understands that coming in.
Said we have seen this scheme before, and they've dealt with it pretty well tonight. Sheffield, little shovel to Batch, and Batch is blown up by the middle linebacker Donald Booker. Yikes. Well, that'll clear the cobwebs.
Well, I'm not sure if it doesn't
give
create
you some.
Yeah, I think it created a bunch of cobwebs.
Oh, what a rip.
You know what a nice job, though, of Sheffield protecting the football. You know he's got a bad wheel over there. And then Booker, whack.
Crown of the helmet to the chin. Now in real time. Good grief. How do you get up from that, Craig James?
Well, that's why I take Advil before I get on planes.
That's a good answer. Tuesday at 8/7 Central, the season's most entertaining new hour, ABC's V. The visitors have arrived. They're ready to make Earth their new home. Uh-oh. Don't miss a second of the series. It's being called riveting, action-packed, and instantly addictive. ABC's V, all new Tuesday, 8/7 Central on ABC. First down, or 3rd and 1. Checking at midfield. Sheffield's going to go deep on 3rd and 1. Hangs that one up for grabs. It was almost intercepted. Well, guess who was trying for his 3rd? That's Parrish Cox. And now there's a flag down in the secondary.
You know what? I can tell you right now, Parrish Cox, that's 3 times now he has adjusted to the flight of the ball and made really nice plays in the air.
Well, he's really putting on a show out there.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. Number 86 for kicking the ball. That's a 15-yard penalty. 4th down.
Alex Torres called for kicking the ball.
Well, Parrish Cox has had a day. This was the opening series. He had the play on the screen. He has the interception. He has the interception again going in for the touchdown. He breaks up another opportunity for a score. And you just saw what he did here again with Alex Torres. The break on the ball, ball in the air. And he's, you know, Tech's lucky he didn't come down with another interception.
Well, they're caught with a 15-yard penalty because Torres, in frustration, kicked the ball. And now Oklahoma State will send Cox back to the 25-yard line. Line drive punt. Cox with a chance, trying to get to the outside. Now he wants to reverse his field. Cuts it back up the middle. Parrish Cox, a flag is down as he got to the 37. A 12-yard return. He must have run 75 yards to get the 12, and he used up all the time on the clock. Brian Duncan made the tackle.
That's ear hole time when he reverses field like that.
Yes, it is.
Get your head on the swivel. That's a good football
During the
player.
return, block in the back on the kicking team. That penalty is enforced 10 yards from the end of the run. We will have 1 on-time down. 1st down.
So it's called on the kicking team.
A block in the back on the kicking team. All right, now let me think about how many times I've heard that one.
This may be it.
Yep, there you go.
What are they doing blocking? Is the question.
I tell you what it's going to do, though. It's going to give Zac Robinson a chance to throw one in the end zone for a Hail Mary to see if he can't get a play out of it.
9 penalties against Texas Tech here in the first half. Spot the ball to 47. Texas Tech dropping a couple of guys 50 yards deep. And Robinson trying to buy some time. And this one is batted down at about the 7-yard line. So that will end the first half. And Parrish Cox has been the star of the first half of play here at Oklahoma State with 2 interceptions, a couple of pass breakups, and an electric punt return. Let's go to Heather.
Coach, you played 2 quarterbacks in the first half. How will you determine who plays in the second and when?
We'll figure it out. We'll talk about it here at the half and may play in both the second half. We'll see it happen.
Now, I know you don't normally look at matchups, but Parrish Cox for Oklahoma State already has 2 interceptions. Do you keep the offense away from him in the second half?
Not necessarily. He's a good player, but so's their other guys.
Coach, thank you.
At the half, our score, Texas Tech 10, Oklahoma State 7. Let's go to John Saunders and Jesse Palmer in our Times Square studio for the Capital One halftime report. That band, the All-American Rejects from right here in Stillwater, Oklahoma. And we welcome you back to ESPN on ABC Saturday Night Football, presented by Southwest Airlines. Mike Patrick, Craig James, Heather Cox, our entire hardworking crew with you tonight. Glad you could join us. Mike Leach has never been somebody that switched quarterbacks. He's switched quarterbacks each of the last 2 weeks. And it's worked.
Yeah, you know, and he has a good feel for his football team. Stephen Sheffield has the banged up foot, and he was ready to play. And I guess he felt like Sticks gave him the opportunity to come in, change up the momentum and the tempo of the game. He's 11 of 14 in the first half, had the touchdown pass. But having said that, Taylor Potts has to be ready to play here in the second half because you've got a guy that has a banged up foot over there. It's noticeable. They're going to put pressure on him. Bill Young's defense is going to get after Sticks in that pocket.
Well, what do you have for your Southwest Airlines playbook tonight?
You want to know, do you?
I do.
Let's go to it here. I think Oklahoma State's offense has to find a way to open up and get rid of that 4-man front that Texas Tech has used to dominate this game. The little quick shovel pass, getting to the corner, getting away from the inside pressure of those defensive tackles. When Zac Robinson took off and ran on this play, that was a big play. It got in the head of that defensive line, and this was an outstanding play. Very close to being picked off, but it's still breaking the pocket and getting the ball off quick underneath, away from Tech's front 4.
Zac Robinson, really meager numbers in the first half.
You know what, a really bad outing in the first half by Oklahoma State's offense. And I think a lot of that has to be the offensive line, who came in had given up 4 sacks on the year, best in the country. They gave up 3 in the first half and lots of hurries.
And it's the best rushing team in the conference. And they're not doing anything on the ground either. Cox. Good coverage by Texas Tech. He does not get it back to the 20-yard line. Our Pacific Life game summary after one half of football at Oklahoma State. 222 yards for Texas Tech, only 95 for the Cowboys, and only 7 first downs from an offense that is putting up a lot of points. They are in the top 20 in the country, 34 points a game. And they have been throttled here by Texas Tech. Robinson in the gun, and Toston starts the second half as the tailback. Robinson, that one wobbles, tipped, and incomplete. Good defense by Cody Davis. Got a piece of that intended for Blackman. Let's check in with Heather.
Guys, no surprise from Mike Gundy coming out of halftime. Very frustrated. He said, you know what, we were inside the 2 3 different times. We just never got a tempo, never got a rhythm. We were in very unusual situations. He said our rushing game certainly has to ignite. Don't forget, this is a team that's 9th in the nation. Almost 200 rushing yards a game, only 39 in that first half.
They have been stuffed. You don't think of Texas Tech for its defensive ability. But tonight they have shown it against a very good offense. Toston. Still on his feet. And finally out of bounds to 23. Toston just wasn't going to go down. And picked up the extra yards. Good effort by the young man.
Well, you know what, good effort, but this defense has had an outstanding half. In Ruffin McNeil's group, they held Kansas, who was the number 5 offense in the country in their last game, to 258 yards. That was the 5th time this year this group has held their opponent to less than 300. So you do think about Tech and offense, but I think the Tech faithful are starting to think about Tech and defense.
And appreciate it. Robinson, that'll be enough for a first down out at the 30-yard line. Hubert Anium makes his 3rd catch of the night and his 38th of the year.
He's really stepped up in the absence of Des Bryant and become the go-to guy. He's got a lot of speed, but that's the kind of play that Des Bryant used to make for this team. That was dependable, guaranteed. He's going to beat you to the ball and take it.
And then he turned it into something after that most of the time. He was a game breaker. Robinson flushed. And instead of sliding, goes ahead and tries to pick up the extra yardage. Drilled by Brian Duncan, the middle linebacker.
It's like just there. 86, Wilson Human. His tight end was standing there covered. Zac Robinson breaks and comes around. Human's got to move. Receivers are going to have to work a little harder to help their quarterback out tonight.
This is such a young group coming into this game. Of 153 catches this year, 91 were made by freshmen and sophomores. So tremendous inexperience. Fumble. Still no signal. Craig, you know what's going on at the bottom of that pile.
Yeah, it is physical. It's a lot of energy, but you see Brandon Sharp down on the right side of your screen there. He's injured. He's hurt. Players are trying to get somebody out to help him. He and Daniel Howard, though, came off the corner like they've been doing, Mike. These guys, they are smoking off the corner.
Yes, they are.
And if the ball's not gone on time, they're in trouble. That's a good job of Howard and Sharp of going after Zac Robinson.
And Hunter pounced on it and ended up with it even after 20 seconds of being on the bottom of that pile. He was not about to give up possession.
I've come out of piles tireder than running a 10 or 12 play drive. I'm telling you, it's exhausting trying to get that football.
3rd and 7. Texas Tech with a 3-point lead. Early 3rd quarter in Stillwater.
There's that 3-man line. They're only 3. Will they bring 4 or spy?
Draw. Hunter. Got the first down. Near the 45-yard line. Good hard run by Hunter, who missed 2 months with a bad ankle.
That time the Oklahoma State offensive line came off against a soft Tech defense. They're standing back kind of looking for a draw or a draw by the quarterback. And that offensive line went out and smacked Tech at the point of attack, giving Hunter the room to run.
That was 11 yards, and that's been the longest run from scrimmage tonight for Oklahoma State. Hunter again. This time he'll get a couple before he's thrown back. Bird led the charge.
I sure wouldn't give up on that run, though, because Oklahoma State is good when they're running the football. And at nearly 200 yards a game, you've got to get back to it. It's just not going to be a drop back and throw the football down the field team.
Well, it also plays into their time of possession theory, especially against a team like Texas Tech. The more time they can take off the clock, the fewer times Texas Tech will have a shot at the ball on offense. Hunter. Nice cut into Texas Tech territory down to the 47-yard line. This is a kid at the start of the season was virtually a consensus all-conference player, and he was on a lot of All-American lists. So he is a quality back.
Watch what he does. Here's the quality you're talking about. When he gets over there hard, he first makes one guy miss here that allows the block, and then you see him cut back with a vision. That's showing you that that ankle is doing pretty well for him tonight.
They got Toston back in there. The numbers on Hunter. But those last 2 runs were the most impressive ones. Quarterback keeper on 3rd and short. And it is a first down.
Doesn't it feel like, Mike, though, in this football game that we've seen Oklahoma State really outplayed by Texas Tech? Yet the score is 10-7.
Absolutely.
And every time that happens, when you watch one of these games, the team who's been dominated finds a way to get back in the game.
Yes, sir. I'm a firm believer you only get so many chances. And if you don't take advantage of them, you're not going to get any more. They've squandered some already. Toston, nice run. Pounds his way to the 34.
There's that pounding. I'm saying stick with it. It is what you are. Don't run from your identity. Look at the offensive line, turning their bodies, creating holes. Cody Davis got to get up in there and bring the wood, not take it so much.
Since he has become the primary back, Toston is averaging 108.7 yards a game, and he is right now running roughshod over Texas Tech. Russell Okung, the All-American left tackle, cleared the way on that last play. Okung is a guy that is going to be highly drafted by the NFL. Projected to be the number 6 man taken in the draft.
That's a long ways to come from a slow start after 2 games, 121 yards. You think his motor didn't get cranked up?
ESPN's Monday Night Football continues in the AFC North. Ray Lewis leads the Ravens against Jamal Lewis and the Browns. Jamal, that is, with some extra incentive going against his old team. That's on ESPN's Monday Night Football at 8:30. Our coverage starts at 7. With Served by Applebee's, the Monday Night Countdown on ESPN. This drive has already gone 55 yards and taken more than 5 minutes off the clock.
And you know, when you look at the big picture, the last 4 possessions, Oklahoma State's offense 14 plays. That was the 12th play of just this drive alone.
And they have been moving the sticks by converting 3rd downs as well. 3 of them on this drive. They only had 2 in the entire first half. Got a 3rd and almost 3 here. Hunter trying to get outside. What a move! Got to the 23, left a defender flat on his back, and got the 1st down.
Coming into this game, Mike Gundy said his runner Hunter was a 85% back. I'm going to elevate him to 100%. He is back. You cannot allow Hunter room to run. You got to go attack him before he gets going.
Robinson, quarterback draw. He's down to the 16, and LaRon Moore was the guy who was faked out of everything on the last play.
And you see the tempo of this offensive line now. The quarterback draw, Zac Robinson. If he gets his wheels running on that ground, put a lot of pressure on that Tech front 4.
Hunter to the 9. And Okung, the All-American left tackle, limping back to the huddle. The last few plays, it looks like it's been a struggle for him.
You know, Oklahoma State, it's just a matter of angles. You know, you see them, watch them up front, how they're just blocking down. It's a matter of angles. And Tech has got to make the adjustment. They can't allow the big bodies of that O-line to get on them.
Best thing that could happen for Okung right here is one play on the touchdown. And they've got movement from the right guard before the snap. That'll cost them 5.
False start. Offense. Number 68. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
Well, how many times has a coach asked in a locker room, what's the penalty for illegal procedure? And everybody raises their hand and says 5 yards. And he says, no, it could be the game. You have momentum going. You got them throttled. You're backing them up. You're pushing on them. And then you have a false start. You never know, do you?
That's very tricky of coaches to do.
They do. And it's easy to trick a locker room full of football players. There you go. And then you waste a timeout.
And in a close game like this, there's timeouts. You've got to hang on to those. Texas Tech and Oklahoma State each have used one here in the 2nd half.
Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Nissan Maxima, proud partner of the Heisman Trophy. And Liberty Mutual Insurance. Vote now at coachoftheyear.com.
ESPN, the magazine, started 10 years ago, and it has always been printed at World Color right here in Stillwater. Every other week, 2.1 million copies are sent out to subscribers everywhere, newsstands. Every team member of World Color Stillwater proud to print ESPN, the magazine, equally proud of their Cowboys.
That's
here in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Never would have thought that. Why? That's interesting.
I don't know.
Man.
Well, there's certain things you don't think of, right?
Yeah. A lot of things I don't think of.
I'm going to be good and just leave that alone. Robinson flush, throws on the run, incomplete. Diving try by Connor.
All right, what does a 7-11 and counting drive, long drive, 15-play drive do to your defensive line? Watch Tech's defensive line. You've got the ground game going. You remember the push you saw earlier in the game, Mike? That's what a long drive and successful running does to a defensive line.
Well, they've got to suck it up right here. The timeout may have helped them. May have helped Okung, the left tackle, who was struggling. Robinson finally throws it away, and it will be 3rd and goal.
Of course, when you're dropping 7 into coverage and you only got 15 yards that you have to protect, you know, that allows you some benefit up front. Boy, that false start really took the throttle away from that, didn't it?
This will be the 18th play of this drive. Hunter on a very conservative play call inside the 10. And you know what the Oklahoma State bench is thinking? Hey, we've got a field goal in our pocket to tie this up. Let's not do something silly down here.
This drive has lasted 18 plays, and I mean it's still counting. I mean, 8+ minutes. If my math serves me properly, it's sneaking up on the entire quarter.
Half of it. Certainly a little more than half. Bailey for the tie, and he knocks it through from 26 yards. So Oklahoma State, very impressive coming out of the locker room. 19 plays, 73 yards, and a field goal to tie. ABC Comedy Wednesday at 9, 8 Central. There are 2 big reasons to watch the fall's #1 new comedy. Ed Norton and Elizabeth Banks guest star on ABC's Modern Family Wednesday at 9, 8 Central on ABC Comedy Wednesday. What an impressive scoring drive by Oklahoma State. 8 minutes and 8 seconds. 19 plays, 73 yards.
Mike, their last 5 drives, their previous 5 drives, they had 16 plays. That's a storyline.
Just wearing them down. Zuzalik and Stevens wait for the kick. Zuzalik. And he'll take a knee. They'll start from the 20-yard line. Matt Weiner has an update for us. Matt?
Mike, Pittsburgh off to its best start since '82. The Panthers at home against Notre Dame today. Check out Ray Graham. Deion Lewis is the freshman, gets most of the carries. Graham doing a lot of work here, though, and a fun run, a couple of spins all the way down to the 1. He would score on the next play. It's 20-9 now as Notre Dame has just punched it in to start the 4th quarter.
Well, I tell you, Notre Dame really struggling. The Panthers having one of the best seasons in a long, long time. Sheffield will open the second half at quarterback for Texas Tech. And they'll whistle this play dead. Got a ton of flags tonight.
Try the snap. False start. Offense.
10 penalties.
5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
10 penalties on Texas Tech in this ball game in 2.5 quarters.
Obviously, this Tech offense has been standing on the sidelines for a long time. Not just on the play clock, but just physical time.
Oh, absolutely. If you're the quarterback, you got to go back and warm up all over again. He joined us late. Sheffield came off the bench in relief of Potts, who was ineffective. A short gain to Swindall. And Booker and Sexton are there on the tackle. But they've got some great-looking defenders on this Oklahoma State unit. The quarterback numbers, Potts had a pick, did not score.
Well, Stephen Sheffield will be challenged by Bill Young and his creativity on defense. He figures out what you're doing and being successful with.
Second and 13. Sheffield pressured, retreats to the end zone and throws it away. Well, they came after him that time, and look at the limp. That's on that surgically repaired foot.
You know, and like Heather and I were saying in pregame down on the field with him, you could just see that Stephen Sheffield does not have the strength in that left foot nor the confidence to move around. And so if it's not in rhythm, then that Oklahoma State defense is going to hurt that foot.
And do you saddle up and come after him on 3rd and 13? Pressure coming, throws, and that pass was behind Lewis. Somehow he made the catch anyway and got the first down. Gain of 20. Detron Lewis, 6 catches tonight.
You know, he had 46 coming into the game. He's leading a talented receiving group, but this man has hands and that are strong. It looks like Michael Crabtree hands from last year. That takes great concentration and strong hands to finish.
It sure does. Batch is the setback. But Sheffield goes the other way, and it's Adam James, his 3rd catch, and Parrish Cox takes care of him.
But you see how Sheffield just, you know, that one big throw, what a player can do to lift up a team. Because you can imagine, Mike, if he doesn't catch that, they've just had to deal with an 8-minute layover on the sidelines.
And the defense is having a collective sigh over there. Once again, they go to the quick strike on the outside. Zuzalik makes the catch, but brought down almost immediately.
Well, any way you look at it, this is a successful drive by Texas Tech, getting off their end zone for field position. But Bill Young's defense, I'm wondering, like you were asking just a moment ago, some pressure. We haven't seen a lot of Oklahoma State pressure from linebackers filling gaps. Let's see what they do here.
And, of course, they are well aware of the injury to Sheffield's foot. And when you see him limping, it's like blood in the water for a shark, you would think. They're showing blitz, and they come. Sheffield got rid of it, and they made him hurry, and he was off target because of it. If I see a quarterback limping, I'm coming every time, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It forced the decision soon, quick. They brought 4, dropped 2 back in, but the whole look that it gave them forced Sheffield to prematurely let the football go before his receivers were open. That's
fourth down. Are they going to go? They showed this before and tried to draw him off. And that's what they're trying again. Oklahoma State not buying it again.
Let me ask you this, Mike. How many times have you seen Tech's quarterback walk up underneath center? We've done them 3 games and take a snap.
Well, that would be the key, wouldn't it?
Doodah.
And you have to think on 4th and 8 that they're not going to come up under center anyhow. Costs them 5. So Erxleben will kick to the dangerous Parrish Cox. We've already seen how elusive he is. Erxleben with that rugby-style kick. Bounces one. Cox has it at the 17. Look at this kick. Spun out of bounds at the 34. Boy, is he something. Jacoby Franks made the tackle, but Parrish Cox gets 17 yards on the return. Dallas fans, there's a new place to go to get the latest on the teams that you care about the most. ESPNDallas.com. Big 12 football, the Stars, the Mavericks, and of course, your Cowboys. ESPNDallas.com. Your home for sports news, radio, highlights, updates, everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex.
How about SMU down there? Way to go, Ponies.
Bowl eligible. How long has it been?
25 years.
Ooh.
Congratulations, Ponies.
Robinson gives to Toston. They would love to put back-to-back drives together.
I tell you, it's a dagger to this Tech defense if they put together another 8-minute drive. They've already had the 8:08. They had a 6:57.
It's hard to have an 8-minute drive and not get a touchdown. It really is. They got a field goal out. It's hard just to keep the ball that long and not get it in the end zone. Blitz coming. Robinson got rid of it and completed it to Dameron Fuchs.
Good job by Zac Robinson in the face of the corner blitz coming off. Getting the ball out to Fuchs.
That's a tough throw with somebody right in your grill, but he stood in there and did it. Swings this one outside. And Josh Cooper makes his first catch of the night. Heather?
Well, we've been watching star offensive lineman Russell Okung favoring that left leg. He stayed in during that complete last drive, then went straight to the medical table. Team physicians evaluated that left knee, did an ACL test. It came out negative, and amazingly, Russell Okung back out on the field, but certainly not 100%. You can see he's favoring it considerably.
All right, thank you, Heather. Way to stay on top of that. Robinson to the shotgun on 2nd and long. Toston. Good blocking in front, and Toston about a yard shy of a first down. He needs to reach the 45.
Well, let me tell you, we watched that time, Russell Okung, and watch what he does, the big guy. Watch how he just collapses the defensive line and gives the running around.
And doing it on a bad knee.
Go back and show you what he did. He's got a bad left leg, but just comes down and pounds, collapses, comes off on linebacker level. So he's playing with heart.
Just looking for more guys to hit. Now they're going to have to bring the chains in. This is very, very close. By the length of a football. That's Okung, the All-American. Mike Gundy knows how fortunate he has been to have that young man. The only Lombardi semifinalist on the offensive side of the ball this year. This Russell Okung. Robinson looks to the sideline. Running play is not going to go anywhere for Hunter. And a lot of penetration by the Texas Tech defensive line.
Well, when you think about the big picture of this game coming in, Texas Tech lost to Texas A&M a few weeks ago. They gave up 321 rushing yards. They're vulnerable to the rush.
Robinson keeping the tempo at a fast pace, throws this one incomplete. Looked like Cooper Bassett, the tight end, was the intended target, but he missed him wide.
And Mike, last week, as you well know, Oklahoma State had 331 yards rushing. So it's a strength of Oak State that they really haven't totally gotten into tonight. But you saw a little glimpse of it in that last drive. But you know, this Tech defense, a stop here. If they don't stop here, I feel like that Oak State is going to run them.
I have the same feeling. But it's a big play here, 3rd and 12. Not going to be easy to convert. Four-man rush. Robinson still can't find anybody. Now he takes off. Turns upfield and got the first down. What a smart, nifty run by Zac Robinson.
Big difference in this game right now up front with this Oklahoma State offensive line. They're engaging the defensive line, and they're holding them. Texas Tech's line, remember early in the first half how they were getting off and making plays, 3 sacks. Now Zac Robinson adds that extra element and the dimension to his game that's going to really put a lot of pressure on Tech.
Somehow he was able to turn upfield, got the corner, and got the first down. Fake to Hunter. Robinson again. First down and more to the 15-yard line. Finally tackled by Marlon Williams. But back-to-back huge runs. That one of 19 yards for the senior quarterback.
Well, again, I just look. These Oklahoma State offensive linemen, they're hugging. You see, they're hugging. There's nobody coming off their block, and Zac Robinson free to run.
The Texas Tech defense is gasping for air. Hunter stopped that time.
Well, we said coming out of halftime, if Robinson cranked it up, we saw him scramble 1 time late in the second quarter. And when he made that run, it took Tech out of what they had been doing defensively with just a standard 4-man front. So now it's, you got Tech defensive guys that are cramping up, and old Mo is on the Oak State bench.
He has changed sidelines. This presentation of Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Welcome back to ESPN on ABC Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines. Zac Robinson really turning it on in the second half. For more on him, we go down to Heather.
Well, Zac Robinson admitted that this has been a very challenging season. Not only is he not surrounded by a lot of the talent that he had a year ago, but also his grandfather passed away earlier this season. And he has dedicated the season to him with eye black that he has passed on and pressed on to his face that says, "Press on." He has dedicated this season to his grandfather, and it has certainly been a struggle to keep that focus, guys.
That was the last thing his granddad would say to him, Heather, when times got tough, you just press on. Robinson out of the gun. The ball spotted inside the 15 at 2nd and 9. In a tie game as we start the 4th quarter in Stillwater. Toston met at the line and then fights forward on second effort for about 3.
You know what? This Tech defense is not wrapping up, and a lot of that has to do with fatigue. It's the yards after the initial contact, 2 or 3 right there, but you really can't, no mystery to that. In the 3rd quarter, Oklahoma State had 29 snaps to just 6 for Texas Tech. So you got a tired bunch of guys in white jerseys.
They have had very, very little rest here in the second half. Big 3rd down here. Can they keep this drive alive? They need to reach the 5-yard line for a first down. Robinson takes off again and stepped out of bounds. It appeared back at the 7 or 8 yard line, but they spot it at the 6.
Daniel Howard, 53. He's going to be your spy. Watch what he does in here on the inside. He's spying Zac Robinson. If you're a spy, though, you got to have the wheels to be able to do something about it. He sees where the play's going, and Ruffin McNeil's trying to give him a chance to make plays, but you just don't have enough speed to run down Zac Robinson.
And one of the Texas Tech players is down. We'll check on him and the spot of the ball when we come back. Texas Tech had 2 players injured on that last play. Julius Howard, number 13, and Daniel Howard, number 53. They both got up eventually and were able to walk off the field under their own steam. And that leaves Oklahoma State staring at a 4th and 1 from the 6. They hustle out on the field. Robinson will now turn and get some signals from the sideline. If Texas Tech had not been there in time, you can be sure they would have gone with the sneak. Toston to the 4. That's a first down. And when you've got them on their heels, it's a good time to do that, isn't it, Craig?
Well, absolutely. There's no risk there whatsoever. I think you got a bunch of guys that are tired on the heels. Here's the check, and where the check went. Look at the bubble. You see the bubble over there? There's the check. That was an obvious. Run at the softness of a defense, especially on 4th and short.
First and goal. Toston, same play. Toston, ball's loose. It looked like he was down, however. No signal. The line judge is coming in to mark the ball at the 1. Texas Tech says they have it. The signal is they do have it, but this one, they'll take a long look at this. It looked like he was flat on his stomach when the ball came loose and reached out, and that's when the fumble occurred.
Yeah, I think you know, live from up here, it looks like that the runner was down before the football came out.
The previous play is under further review.
Indisputable video evidence is what you're looking for. Can't see it right there. He is down. That is not a fumble. That ball will go back to the offense.
Well, I would say there's no way they're going to overturn this, or there's no way they're going to let the play stand. But after last night, I'm not sure of anything anymore.
You're referring to that West Virginia Mountaineer game?
Yes.
That you were so hating in that room? Partner, I got to tell you, I get such a chuckle out of texting back and forth with you watching West Virginia play. But this play here,
once you're involved, you know,
you can't get away from him. But this, Toston's down. The ground, that is not a fumble. That ball is going back to Oklahoma State.
I mean, both of his knees are on the ground.
You know, if there's a silver lining to this, it's the fact that Tech defense is finally getting a break. Their offense won't give them one.
That's right. They'd like this review to last for a while.
Well, I just don't think you can't see it there. You can clearly see it here.
Both knees are down.
And the ball has not crossed that line. It's still in possession.
And what's funny, the line judge came out and marked the ball at the 1 instead of back at the 2 where the fumble was. So he's thinking it's down.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And another official then turns around and signals that it is Texas Tech football.
Well, Texas Tech's defense wisely standing at the goal line, probably anticipating a reversal of this call.
Now, when it takes this long, usually they're looking exactly where they can mark the ball, not just the call.
Review. The player's knee was down before he fumbled the ball. Therefore, the ball be placed inside the 1-yard line. Check it out.
And Toston breathes a sigh of relief. It will be 2nd and goal from inside the 1.
And it will be the 15th play of this drive. The last drive, 19 plays. So Tech's defense has been on the field a long time. And about the only thing that you could have thought that might have helped them would have been a turnover.
Oklahoma State fires up to the line. Toston to the goal line. Touchdown. They raced to the line, and as soon as they got in position, had the quick snap. And an extra tight end in the game for blocking. And now Bailey for the point after. So Oklahoma State has dominated the second half with 2 grinding, bone-crunching drives and gotten points out of both.
Saturday Night Football on ABC. Presented by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Chevy and our award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. And Pacific Life. For insurance, annuities, and investments, choose Pacific Life. The power to help you succeed.
This is Heritage Hall here at Boone Pickens Stadium. A lot of items from the Cowboys sports history. And Mike Gundy in the picture with Hart Lee Dykes. That was his favorite target in their playing days. And what a great name. Hart Lee Dykes. Texas Tech, 222 yards, 10 points first half. Second half, they've had 6 plays. That's it. 6. Oklahoma State, it's just reversed. 95 yards in the first half. The second half, they've had 2 drives that lasted 34 plays and 144 yards. Took 14 minutes and 11 seconds off the clock. That's unbelievable.
And on top of that, that ground game started getting in, kicking in for Oklahoma State. 26 carries, 126 yards in the second half.
Stevens at the 6. Crosses the 25. Matt Weiner has an update for us. Matt.
All right, Mike, time for our AT&T All-America Player of the Week update. Boise State just keeps on winning football games, and Kellen Moore helping make it happen. 299 yards passing, 5 touchdowns today in the win. To cast your vote, text vote to 345-345 from your mobile phone. Could win a trip to the national championship.
Thank you, Matt. We have 12:50 to go in this game. And Texas Tech, if for no other reason, needs to maintain possession of the ball for a while, give that defense a little bit of a breather, and try to score while they're at it. They're down by 7 now.
And add on top of that the fact that they've got Stephen Sheffield in the game still with a gimpy left foot. So you don't have a mobile quarterback. You can add the dimension that Zac Robinson has added to Oklahoma State.
Very true. Sheffield, if you joined us late, relieved Taylor Potts, who was ineffective. Sheffield played some in the second half a week ago. Nice throw. Lewis shakes the tackler. First down and more. Detron Lewis having himself quite a night.
Detron Lewis is just better than most guys who will try to cover him. Just the way it is. He's got a spectacular ability to catch the football and continue to run at the same time. And he's after the catch with the ball. Maybe not Michael Crabtree, but he sure is not too far off the turnip truck from it.
6 catches, 76 yards. And Texas Tech does have an injured player, and that may be Lewis. It is Detron Lewis, the junior out of College Station, Texas. He was knocked out of bounds.
And again, this is just another momentum door closing on this offense. They've been on the sidelines the whole game. Every time they try to get something going, something slaps them in the face.
Good sign. Lewis is up and appears to be okay. May have had the wind knocked out of him.
Well, I would say that if Tech's offense gets going here, it looks like we could have one of those regular shootouts between these two teams in the fourth quarter.
It's been surprising so far. We thought there would be a lot more points than this. Batch. Remember, Batch had a huge fourth quarter a week ago against Kansas. In the fourth quarter alone, he rushed for 106 yards on 8 carries. Heather?
Well, good news for Texas Tech. The offense is very well rested. The bad news, they all got cold and tight after watching Oklahoma State run the clock. Just now, most of the wide receivers really trying to share the one exercise bike down here to get warm. Sheffield hobbling on that one leg, trying to keep his muscles warm.
All right, Heather, Sheffield back to throw under pressure. With that surgically repaired left foot, he has no mobility. Swanson, Miller, and Jeremiah Price both after him, and that should be intentional grounding. The ball got nowhere scrimmage.
On number 1 on the offense. Loss of down. 3rd down.
And it's a huge penalty because you lose the yardage and the down.
Yeah, you know what I think? You know, Mike Leach has to really consider right now that a gimpy Stephen Sheffield is not going to be as productive as a Taylor Potts. And you've got a rested Oklahoma State defense, and their front four is going to be a lot fresher going against a cold offensive line. You're going to have a quarterback who can move, Mike.
It's a loss of 19 yards. Now it's 3rd and 27. Sheffield has to go underneath and throws off target intended for Alex Torres, who was hanging out in the flat, and they'll have to kick the ball away. And you can see the pronounced limp on the left foot of Sheffield.
I guess, you know, from my point of view, there's no excuse not to go with Taylor Potts. Taylor Potts has one big game. The guy can play. And so he's on the sidelines. He's ready to go. You've got a quarterback that is very ineffective right now.
And you've also got Seth Dagey, who started last week. Parrish Cox, the return man. Signals for the fair catch to the 34. Nice 41-yard kick. Oklahoma State thinking another long drive. If they get it, they'll close this one out. Jimmy Johnson's misfortune in Texas opened the door for veteran Mark Martin. Now with just 2 races left, the pressure is on. The chase heads west to the NASCAR Sprint Cup in Phoenix. Coverage begins Sunday at 2:30 Eastern on ABC. The telecast presented by Goodyear. Oklahoma State takes over at its own 33-yard line. 10:58 to go in the game. And incomplete to Toston out in the flat as Robinson couldn't find anybody downfield and finally had to get rid of it because of the pressure.
Well, you know, the pressure right now really is on the offensive line at Oklahoma State. Believe it or not, the pressure's on them because they've had control of this game. Don't let up. Continue to dominate the man in front of you.
Were you surprised that they wanted to throw on 1st down there?
Well, a little bit.
Now they've got an empty backfield for Robinson and 5 wideouts. Flushed again. 1st down and more. Midfield lowers the shoulder and dives to the 45-yard line. No sliding for this kid. It's a gain of 22.
Well, let me tell you what more surprising than the pass on 1st down would be what the empty backfield set does. We're going to start into this play, and right before Zac Robinson leaves, look, nobody. Hello, darling. That means a happy smiley face for a quarterback. Exactly what Mike Gundy's staff was looking for on that play. Empty set, get him out of there. Nobody to guard Zac Robinson.
3 big runs in the second half for Robinson. And Oklahoma State racking up the rush yards. Texas Tech has been shut down. Hunter stopped by Brian Duncan, the middle linebacker, number 57.
Boy, I go back to that second quarter, right before half, and Robinson took off on that one scramble, and up until that point the defensive line had been smacking that Oklahoma State offensive line in the mouth, and then all of a sudden things changed.
Quarterback adds that extra dimension and can really wear out some pass rushers when he takes off. Hunter is the deep man in the eye. Robinson wants to throw instead. Gets it out to Connor. DeMarcus Connor to the 41-yard line. The line to reach is the 35 for a 1st down.
Keep in mind, as we talked about coming on the air, bragging rights, recruiting rights, pecking order in the Big 12, bowl pecking order, right?
Sure.
Cotton Bowl on the line. You know, the Oklahoma State coaches are well aware of where they stand right now, and they're hoping to get in that Cotton Bowl consideration.
Third down, 6, the clock running. We've hit the 9-minute mark. Robinson had that one batted down at the line of scrimmage. And Henley got a hand on it. Ray John Henley.
Pre-snap read here, Mike, is the defense invited a pass. You see the balance of the nickel, 4 down, 2 linebacker, and then the 2 linebackers came and they got their hands up. Ruffin McNeil, D coordinator, changed his look on 3rd and long.
So Texas Tech's defense finally stops Oklahoma State. They'll force a punt. And Sharp will try to kill this one inside the 20. Oh, what a fortunate bounce, and it would have gone a lot further. Justin Gent, excuse me, stopped that ball, and Marlon Williams is the injured Red Raider. Good news for the Red Raiders. Marlon Williams able to get off the field under his own power. Sheffield remains at quarterback. 84 yards away from tying this up. Batch will pick up a couple. Blatnick made the tackle.
Jamie Blatnick, number 50. He played in Salina with Adam. They were teammates. Won the state championship together. Yeah. We've got a nice photo of them last year. Adam blocking Jamie Blatnick in a game. And Jamie's a good football player. Has 1.5 sacks this year. So love to say hello to Jamie.
Sheffield, it's intercepted. Patrick Lavine with his 5th interception of the season. And a 20-yard touchdown. Boy, did he have great anticipation on that one.
Mike, the anticipation Lavine had from the inside out. Sheffield never saw the angle coming from the inside, running underneath on that route.
The point after, good. The lead has grown to 14. Patrick Lavine, the senior from Houston, with his 5th interception of the season, his 1st touchdown return. Sheffield now down by 2 touchdowns after his pick by Patrick Lavine. Will Sheffield stay in, or is Potts warming up
I just don't
for
see
a possible return?
Absolutely. I just don't see any alternative to it. You've got a guy whose head's messed up, his foot's messed up. Got to make a change.
Stevens and Zuzalik are deep, and Stevens will take a knee. They'll start from the 20. Oklahoma State feeling the strength of this defense. Their linebackers, they have all been so good. Look at Lavine. He knew that was coming, ran right to the sideline route, and boy, was he close to stepping out of bounds. You know, I mean, he was right on the edge.
Absolutely, but you know, when you go back and study this film, Sticks is looking there the whole time. Lavine took off and went there. It left the curl route on the inside wide open, but Sticks had predetermined where he was going with the ball.
Taylor Potts has returned at quarterback. And Potts throws complete to Britton. Now, what kind of a mental adjustment is this for Taylor Potts? He's taken out of the ball game. Now he comes back in.
Potts is a guy who is a very mature young man, understands the situation, hasn't sat over there and moped. I've watched him on the sidelines. He stayed in the game, encouraging and supporting, so he'll be ready to go.
Time becoming a factor, under 8 minutes left. Potts hangs in the pocket, throws too high. That one was intended for Detron Lewis, who was double covered.
This game really comes down to a simple fact that in the second half, Oklahoma State has dominated the snaps. They've dominated time of possession, and it's created a real cold offense through and through.
Sheffield with those 2 picks. Lack of mobility is really, I think, the reason more than any other, as Batch has a nice run for him coming out of the ball game. I mean, he just is such a stationary target right now for that pass rush.
Yeah, but you know what? Bill Young's defense now, he'll have a little different mindset about how he goes about defending Texas Tech. Slow, methodical, keep them in front of you, make them go a long time, and chew up the clock.
Stevens still fighting for yardage down to the 40. His legs just never stopped. He's at a Mansfield, Texas, a true freshman. And there is Williams, the starting linebacker, and they're going to put him on the cart and take him to the locker room.
Well, that's a real blow. He's a leader on this defense, a really good guy, a heck of a football player. Not a lot of depth behind him.
Potts with time over the middle and dropped by Lewis. And there is a flag down, and it looked like that's roughing the passer as Taylor Potts was hit late.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense, number 90. That's a 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Swanson Miller, the starting left defensive tackle.
That's 299 pounds, call it 300 plus with the pads on. This is a blow. He just drove him to the ground, and that's the right call. Not a smart play either, is it?
No, not to have 2 steps to take before you get to him and then drive him into the ground. Blitz coming. Potts unloads. Britton inside the 10, the 5, touchdown. Well, how about that for Taylor Potts? Now that's really keeping your head in the game. You've been replaced, benched for a new quarterback. Things go south for him. You come back in the ball game. It's not very often you get your number called twice in the same game. Hats off to Taylor Potts. And they didn't spend much time getting this touchdown either. 6:59 to go. This would cut the lead to 7. And Williams is true on the point after.
This tells you right here, Mike, that Taylor Potts' head's in the football game. The blitz is going to come from the other side. Linebackers are going to come in, and he throws it away from it. So Potts recognizes where the linebackers are coming from, throws opposite to Eddie Britton, perhaps the fastest receiver on this Tech football team. Just like that. Old Mo decided to go to the middle of the football field to see if he can finish the game.
And Britton with his first 2 catches of the night, both on that drive. You get an offense like this, it's never over. They can score so quickly. And now Oklahoma State is going to want to work the clock.
Well, let me tell you what, now Oklahoma State will be going against a defense that's tired, and they don't have Marlon Williams at Texas Tech. And he is a playmaker and leader over there. So that's it's a different handicap they have to deal with.
And the defense really didn't get much of a breather. That drive was too quick.
Well, maybe the shot of adrenaline. You know, that B-12 shot?
That could do it.
I had a teammate ask for a B-24 one time, Coach. I need 2 of them.
2 B-12s. Tots. You got to hold your breath when this guy gets the ball. They just sidestepping people out to the 25-yard line. ABC Thursday. What if you saw a future in which your life was changed for the better? An unforgettable story about the power of believing. ABC's Flash Forward, all new Thursday at 8/7 Central on ABC. Usually when we're on the road Thursday night, I've got the TiVo going. It's the first thing I see when I get back on Sunday is taking a look at Flash Forward and what happened on Thursday that I missed.
Well, you're lining me up on things that I need to watch.
Yes.
So I'll pay attention.
It's good stuff. Robinson on a roll. Throws the short completion to DeMarcus Connor. Well, they're certainly not going into a shell on offense, are they?
No, and you know what? That's good. Mike Gundy recognizes he's going to more than likely have to continue to score. If he gives it back to Texas Tech, he has to make the assumption now that this Red Raider offense will be back on track.
Marcus Connor would have been better served staying in bounds, however.
There's the replacement for Marlon Williams, Sam Fehoko. He's a good player, but he doesn't have the experience that Williams has.
And normally he comes in and plays middle linebacker. Toston needs to get to the 35, didn't quite make it. So that'll bring up a big 3rd and 1. And Oklahoma State at the line, ready to go.
You know, they've done that all night, haven't they, Mike? You know, when they've got a short yardage to go, getting to the line of scrimmage.
Tech jumped, but got back. And if there's no contact, you can get back without the flag. Quarterback keeper, and it's a 1st down. And now with that 40-second play clock, you can burn an awful lot of time. Texas Tech with 2 timeouts at its disposal.
Well, that right guard that time, Lane Taylor, he's kind of the guy that they say came in and gave them the spark on that offensive line that brought them together. And certainly that time got down low and rooted out that DT.
Boys, Oklahoma State been good on 3rd down in the second half. 7 out of 10 3rd down conversions. Toston.
Well, on that left side, Russell Okun, he's really struggling. Heather told us about it earlier in the game, but you can just see over on that left side his body just dragging along over there.
Here's what I'd question, partner, is look at the play clock up by the game clock at the top of your screen. They are not using all of that play clock at all. This time it's down a little further, but they have not been very conscious of it. Now they have gone too far and have to use a timeout. Still waiting for a call to come in from the sideline.
There you go again. How do they know what you're talking about up here?
I don't know, but I'm getting a little tired of it. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Let's see if there's anything about jinxes in here.
Well, it started early in the game, didn't it, Mike? When we got out here and we saw Parrish Cox. He was one of our impact players that we talked about. This is the opening drive, the interception. He goes up several times. There's the first interception. Comes in again. And just been one of those games to where you had to stay away from Cox. Lavine, the linebacker, stepped in for the touchdown just a moment ago. That was a real big difference maker. But I think Parrish Cox set the tone early.
Didn't he ever?
Yeah.
That guy can play. He's on the Thorpe watch list as the best defensive back in the nation. 2nd and 8 here with 4:49 to go in the ball game. Robinson running that option, gives it to Hunter. Kendall Hunter, 1st down and more. A new set of downs, a gain of 25 yards. They have not run that play since early in the ball game.
Absolutely, and it worked early in the ball game as well. Speed option to the short side of the football field. Let one man go right to the quarterback, pitch it, and you've got outnumbered blockers on defenders.
Boy, you would think a wise defensive choice in that situation is to force Robinson to run it. Certainly he's not as quick as Hunter. Now they're working that play clock down. Hunter again. Defenders waiting for him after a gain of 1. Swallowed up by Colby Whitlock, 93, the first man to hit him.
Coming into the game, we talked about it, that Oklahoma State, number 8 in the country in time of possession at 32.49. And they've surpassed that number. It seems like it's been even longer, doesn't it?
Well, it does. Seems like they've had the ball all of the second half. I'm sure it does to the Texas Tech defense. 2nd and 9. If Tech's going to have a chance, they got to make a defensive stand here. Here's the option. Robinson will keep. Down to the 24. Another 1st down. Nobody challenged him, and he just kept going.
Well, and it starts at the linebacker level. I want you to watch these 3 guys here and see if they come downhill at all or stay flat and get swallowed up. They stayed 5 yards deep. They never got down. And that's an easy gain and decision for Robinson.
18 carries, 90 yards for Robinson tonight.
And Toston, he's 19 carries, 66 yards. Hunter, 17 for 68.
Pretty good stuff. Let's check in with Matt Weiner in the studio. Matt?
All right, Mike, let me show you the end of the Notre Dame-Pittsburgh game. The Irish got themselves within 5, 3rd and 16. Watch Jimmy Clausen hit as he apparently throws. Looked like an incompletion. After review, they ruled it a fumble. And that did it for Pittsburgh. The Panthers are 9-1.
And really, in the preseason, Pitt was not looked at as a team that was going to be that strong. But they have been, and they've gotten better as the season has gone along.
We were there, what, it seems like 3 weeks ago. Pitt at home against UConn, somewhere there. We've seen Dave Wannstedt, but he's recruited extremely well. He's got that talent. I watch them now, and I see a lot of guys going to Pitt playing for Dave Wannstedt and Pitt that used to go play at Notre Dame. That's the kind of level of talent he's getting.
3:13 left in this game. Toston. Well, they're just dominating the line of scrimmage. Trying to strip the ball from Toston.
They've been dominating the line of scrimmage here in this second half, and you got Tech defenders are just tired, out of gas, and you can understand that. But that offensive line at Oklahoma State, they came in averaging 196 a game, best in the Big 12. And when you combine 3 different players, I think for me the key though is Robinson up top. Zach, once he started running, it was all over. Katie bar the door.
Well, you got 3 guys over 68 yards and 196 yards on the ground in the second half. Toston again. And he's got another first down at the 13. That will stop the clock momentarily while they move the chains, but that's it. And Texas Tech only has 1 timeout left.
And you know, when this Tech defense is leading and this team leading their opponent, they only allow 3.1 to carry. When they're down, they give up 4.4. So it's played right into the hands of Oklahoma State. What they wanted to accomplish in this game, the greatest danger they have right now, if you're a runner, ball carrier for Oklahoma State, is having the ball stripped from you. That's about the only way they're going to lose this game.
Cowboys 19th this week in the BCS standings, going for their 8th win of the season. Toston. He'll lose a yard perhaps on that one. Texas Tech uses its last timeout. If you hear something ticking, it's the sound of the College Hoops Tip-Off Marathon. The ESPN family of networks will showcase 24 consecutive hours of live college basketball. 19 games, 5 different time zones, 6 top 25 teams, including #1 Kansas, #2 Michigan State. All the action kicks off at midnight on ESPN following Monday Night Football. Can you stay up for it? Well, Oklahoma State over Seattle earlier in the day. And the people who organized that game made one little mistake. They changed the tip-off time and they forgot to tell the officials.
Well, all I know is this: Seattle's basketball team, they were at the same Subway shop that we were, and they were putting pressure on the attendees. They messed up my sandwich, put onions on that. So,
oh, geez, sorry.
Hey, I'm telling you, the old breath.
Robinson. 5. Oh, loose ball. It is recovered by Texas Tech. Robinson was blown up by Jamar Wall, and they're both down. What a shot.
What a play in a game. Zac Robinson tried to put it in the end zone in a collision with Jamar Wall. Ball loose, turnover.
Boy, and Jamar Wall just laid him out.
Let it run real time for you, and you get a sense for what happened here in this collision. Ooh.
Oh, what a great hit.
Well, and no doubt that the football was coming loose before he was down. That's a fumble. Now you're just concerned for the players on the field.
I think everything came loose, including teeth. And that was so close. Brandon Sharp came up with the ball, and if he had not been hit immediately while he was picking it up, he may have gone 95 yards for a touchdown.
I said it 2 plays ago. The only way Tech can get in this game is if you fumble. If you're a ball carrier, you just got to be aware of what the situation is.
Does that mean you have joined me as a jinx?
I did officially jinx someone. You're right. You rubbed off on me.
Oh, and they are still checking out both guys.
Well, Zac Robinson's got the ball in the right spot. It's just the blow to the head. It just knocks you goofy. When you're a ball carrier and you get such a violent blow like that, it just knocks you senseless, and the ball becomes secondary.
Oh, what a shot. And both guys, looks like Ali Frazier, both of them go down. When we resume, both of these teams are going to have to get their focus back because it's still a 7-point game, and Texas Tech will have it, and for them a minute 38 is an eternity on offense.
Well, absolutely, you're right about that, and you know, that's good. That's a good sign there, and you just hope the same happens with Zac Robinson.
Wall gets a nice hand, and they are still tending to Zac Robinson. When at least temporarily Wall saved the game.
He gave him a chance, you know, and that's what effort will do for you, and character. A player, you have to have a whole bunch of guys with great character in order for a play like that to happen, rather than just laying down,
and
letting it happen. There you go. Come on up, Zach.
And it's good to see how schools are getting so careful about guys getting their bell rung. It used to be something you'd laugh about and say, I'll get up, shake it off, go back in. Now they're very, very careful about guys who take blows to the head, as they should be.
Well, just kind of a look ahead a little bit. Oklahoma State has a very short week coming up. They play on Thursday night here at home against Colorado. So if your quarterback goes down, and if it's a concussion, and I'm speculating here, but most now they're conservative with those. It certainly changes the look of your offense.
And you see Alex Cate on the sideline, a 6'1", 195-pound junior, warming up. He is the backup quarterback at this point, and Cate has not thrown a pass this season. Brandon Whedon is the other quarterback who has played a few snaps. And good to see Zac Robinson up. But you can tell that neither he nor Jamar Wall are in playing shape right now.
Bill Young, with the clock where it is right now, will try to play back. He won't let any receiver get deeper than anybody back behind his secondary. The clock really is his ally at this time.
Remember, Texas Tech does not have a timeout. The only way they can stop the clock is get a first down or get out of bounds. Four-man rush. Potts underneath, incomplete.
Oh, that's a big drop right there. That would have stopped the clock, moved the chains, and given you a chance down. Every tick on that clock precious now for Texas Tech.
But do you want to see a guy catch the ball on the ground in the field of play?
Better than 2nd and 10.
This one thrown underneath, gets a block, and Swindall has a first down. Check it where they marked it. It's back at the 21. It's not, so it's 3rd down and short. Now you got to make sure you get the first down just to keep the chains moving. And they get the completion to Britton, who's caught 3 here in the 4th quarter. 109. Texas Tech needs a touchdown. Field goal will not help. Potts. What a great effort by Hugo Chenasa. Just kept fighting and got to Taylor Potts.
This here is ruled that the ball and the arm was coming forward. Chenasa off the left side just continued to work through guard and left tackle. Arm was coming forward. That's the proper call.
Good job by Potts to get rid of it.
Here's the big play guy right there, I think. Detron Lewis. Somewhere you got to get him because the yards after the catch, the ability that he has, are the best of the receivers.
Potts had good time. Britton again up to the 46. They're trying to keep the receivers away from the sideline, so there are openings over the middle. But will 5, 6, 7 yards at a time get it done? Potts down the middle. Britton was open. He overthrew him by 1 step. And people at home have to be answering the question, how can you let somebody get deep? I'm asking the same question.
I just don't think that the defense understands how fast Eddie Britton is. He's a very fast receiver and kind of went and got lulled to sleep.
47 seconds to go in the game. Potts. Too high. Intended for Torres.
That's actually better, Mike, probably than a completion right there, because, you know, you're going to have to get yards after the catch beyond the 8 and 10 or 12-yard completion.
And you saw Robinson being attended to on the sideline as they walk him back toward the dressing room. Being very careful of that young man. Potts to Batch. Batch across midfield gets to the 49. They have to get just inside the 45 for a first down. The clock is running.
And I don't
they got to hustle
that.
here.
I just don't see that there. You know, 3rd and 10, you're only going to get 3 rushers or 8 back.
And this is burning a lot of time. The Oklahoma State coaches are saying, get back, and that one is dropped. Swindall had it right in his hands, and he had already turned his head to look downfield to see where he was going to run. You can't blame Taylor Potts. He threw a perfect pass. Would have been a first down.
Yeah, Swindall's got to make this catch here. I mean, this is the right ball, the right throw. With the clock where it is, at least you would have gotten it stopped with the first down.
Well, you can see his head.
Yeah.
He's already looking downfield. You got to make sure you catch that ball.
Oklahoma State did exactly what they had to do in this football game tonight. They hung in there, stayed the course, pounded the football, and the time of possession just too much for Tech's defense to overcome.
Well, what a hard-fought ball game. And Oklahoma State at home is going to prevail 24-17. Big win for Mike Gundy. Let's show you the updated standings. In the Big 12 South, Oklahoma State still just 1 game behind Texas. Of course, they lost to the Longhorns. But at 5-1, they are looking good. 8-2 overall. Texas Tech has lost any hope of winning the South, and we'll check in with Heather.
Thanks so much. The home team in the series has now won 8 consecutive games, and Coach, congratulations, but certainly a damper on this victory following that very violent collision. What have you heard about the health of your quarterback, Zac Robinson?
I think he's going to be fine, but boy, that was a heck of an ending to a great football game, and it was a great hit, and I hope both players will be okay. I had a lot of respect for Texas Tech and the way they came over and their coaches checking on both players, and so it was two good football teams and a great football game.
And Parrish Cox with an amazing first half, 2 interceptions. How did he help set the tone for this game?
Parrish has been a great leader for us throughout the season, a senior that has really had a great year. As a return guy, he's very exciting, and this is a good game for him to show up because they're going to throw it a lot, and he's got a lot of ability and coverage.
And talk about a tale of 2 different halves. Your offense really not there in the first half. What adjustments did you make in the locker room to make such a big difference in the second?
Well, we felt like we just needed to get back to the basics and just run the football and run our base offense. We got in a difficult situation early in the game. We were backed up and we were jumping off sides. We just needed to get back to the basics.
Coach, congrats. Go enjoy the win.
Thanks.
Mike and Craig.
Heather, thank you very much. Once again, the final score here in Stillwater, Oklahoma State 24-17 over Texas Tech. For Craig James and Heather Cox, this is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching, everybody. Now let's head back to New York. John Saunders in the Times Square studio for the Ford wrap-up. John?